Welcome to Harris County, the old middle school, the Science Technology Center, home of Harris County Wrestling. Here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live with Kudzu Sports, as we're going to bring you the black and gold scrimmage. First match, we're going to have two seventh graders. This is a great event they put on each year. This year looks a little different with one mat. Many of these kids, this is their first wrestling match. This one we're going to have Lucy Lloyd and Colton Ponder, two seventh graders. Colton is going to have on the green, and Lucy's going to be the red. Wrestling's a fun sport, great sport to get into. It teaches, owning your own mistakes and, responsibility and coming through adversity on your own. Ain't got a teammate to come bail you out. These two middle schoolers about to get underway in this fantastic wrestling program that Coach Alex Moore has built. More of a machine than a program at this point. They're getting ready. They're nervous for this first time in front of people as Colton shoots in. A good job of sprawling back by Lucy and grabbing that ankle. Ponder's digging in. Points change a little bit this year. Takedowns are now worth 3 points. And she's trying to get behind and get those 3 points for a takedown. And Colton's doing a good job of fighting it off, keep a neutral stance. This is also a good opportunity for these GHSA officials to get some live competition. And I believe they're going to have so many done and before the season, exhibition matches, so it's a good chance for that. As now Ponder's about to get him some points. And there's 3 back points instead of the usual 2, now 1 for the escape. It's also a good job for us to get in here and get used to doing some wrestling as Ponder's getting 3 more points. You see him getting some back, trying to flip her over to get a back point, some potential pin. So remember the past, you had a takedown was worth 2 points. Now the 3s. This program's always, one of the bigger events the wrestling program has to kick the season off. So he's trying to flip there. She keeps rolling. She can try to get him. Both his feet got to be out as well as hers. And there they go out. So no back points, just a 6-1 lead for Ponder. You see it getting a little gassed. Sport does wear you out quick. We got 31 matches tonight. But it's a great, we know the big event for the county later on in the wrestling season will be the King of the County and Queen of the County. That event is held at the high school. Their dual matches are held here at the Science Technology Center. They help put this event on. Derek Moxley Concrete, Moss & Son Feed and Seed. As here we go with Ponder trying to get those back points. And they're counting them off. 2, 3, 4. A little change from the past. 3 back points makes it a 9-1. So we start the second period. So Lucy chooses to go neutral. You get 3 choices, neutral, top or bottom. Depending on the score, your skill set versus your opponent on what you want to grab. As Ponder gets his takedown. Stretches his lead out to 12-1. You see him trying to get that right arm under her right arm and up on her head. Shoot a half. Try to get some leverage to flip her over to get the back points in a potential pin. As he gets to her back now. And now we may have a pin. Nice job by Lucy to roll over. It's either 4 back points. Stretches the lead up big. So we mentioned 31 matches. The first few are going to be a lot of middle schoolers, 7th and 8th graders mixed in. As there you see, Colton Ponder gets the win. Because now we're going to have 2 8th graders going on. It's going to be Mikhail Avrilin and Milo Cole. See this coming in here, they have to do their handshake. I mentioned wrestling's one of the older sports around, probably one of the older sports in the world. Go way back to the Roman days, and still today it's a big sport. We talk about how it teaches so many life lessons you learn through wrestling. You know, just accountability being a big one too. Then responsibility is you having to handle your weight, and you're in control of all that. Your coach can't do it for you. See these 2 guys trying to fill each other out and see what move would work, when to shoot. Maybe they want to use upper body strength for a takedown. So we see a good job of sprawling back to defend the shoot. Shout out to Mike Jolly and Harris County Sheriff's Office and State Farm Agent Rick Knight for them helping to bring county athletics here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. You see a takedown. So trying to get a little bit of control. Little risky move there. Now see a reversal. But because the takedown points are worth 3 now, there's a little 1-point lead. Is that reaching back is a dangerous move up the locking hands. You see you can't just go around the waist and lock your hands. You have to have the opponent's arm down there. Just can't have both their arms free. You got to have their hand. Shout out to Chris Gates, producer today, and doing the wrestling. First time that we're doing it here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. You see an escape. We're going to have Coach Wingard and Coach Moore join us here at this announcer's table. Great setup here. Hopefully we can get up here for more matches during the season for this kind of event. Coach Moore always puts on great events. The King of the County and Queen of the County are always the really, really big events that he does a great job of. Last year doing the sectionals was just awesome. The JHSA back then, back last year was 5A sectionals. Was just a phenomenal job. Friday and Saturday, boys and the girls. So that's the end of the first period. See, Red has a 5-2 lead, and Green gets to make a choice. He goes down. He's going to try to get an escape point or maybe a reversal, try to make up some points in a hurry. He's trying to get out, pushing the hands down. You see, get a good job at an escape right there. See him pushing the hands down and bending his waist down. So now he's pulled within 2. I think if he can get him a takedown right now, he takes the lead. And they're going out of bounds. No, they stay in. And now see Red get the takedown. Another escape. Mentioned Chris Gates doing the camera and producing today, an event that sport that we're not used to running too much. So doing a phenomenal job so far, keeping up with the score and doing the camera work. So if the kids get out of the shot for a little bit, we're working on it. It's a work in progress for everybody with this. But we're hoping to have it dialed in when the matches come around, the dual matches this season. So here he goes. 10 seconds, you see the scorekeeper walking out. They're going to tap the ref on the back at the time, even though they have a very loud horn here at the STC building. Good, they don't use it because it was very loud. See, it's going to the third. It's only a 4-point match. We mentioned the coaches. Coach Amy Rowland, feeling a little bit under the weather. She's the girls wrestling coach here for the county. Phenomenal job. They had a great season last year. Including Addison Lowell had a great season last year. We'll see her here in a little bit when it gets closer, about the middle of the card. We have her, but she had a great season. She got hurt at sectionals. Really would have had a great chance at state. So they're about to slide up out of bounds. Bring it back to the center. Let's see. There they go. Nope. It's going to go neutral, get an escape. Nice lightweight class 2 8th graders, which can go to high school events and JV and freshman matches. That's not going to, that could be trouble landing on your back. It's just going to be 3 takedown points. We're less than a minute left. There's another escape. Good thing with wrestling, no matter what the score is, you always got a chance. If you can get the other guy on his back. Seen a lot of times people will get a big lead and end up on their back, and that's all it takes. It could be over with. So you're never really out of it as long as you're on 2 feet on that mat. We're in the 20 seconds till it's over. 14-5, he could just kind of ride this one out, not take any chances. So you got a chance to go for a pin. Now you just kind of stand up and walk around for 5 seconds. Don't do anything to get yourself caught in a bad position. Next, we got Gavin, Partridge, and MJ Davidson, the 7th and 8th grader. And that's it. This one won 14-6. Good match, went 3 periods. Gavin Partridge, the 7th grader. MJ Davidson will be the 8th grader. See them getting their ankle straps, marking the. Here we go. This is stuff we like seeing with these young wrestlers. Really helps build the program and giving them some confidence and just used to being in front of a crowd, being in this situation. And plus, there's nothing that humbles you faster than getting put on your back and pinned in front of a crowd, which it happens to anybody that wrestles at some point. These 2 guys, usually the heavier the weight class, the more just straightforward the matches are. You don't see as many risky moves. It's just all brute strength. You see it slings him down. Gets behind him for control. Once you get in control, you get your points. He's trying to find a way to get him over on his back. He's got 49 seconds. He can plenty of time to try to get back points and the potential pin. You see him there. The ref counting them off. They're not 1, 2, 3 on the back points. It's 2, 3, 4. So you can get a max of 4 back points. Now he's looking at the shoulder blades, and there's a pin. And it's over in the first period. And that's what I'm saying. Once you get somebody on their back, it's hard to, in the heavier weight class especially. And now we're going to go Donnie Bush and Jace Britt. These are 2 8th graders. Some of these kids we know from other sports and being around the community. Some I don't know their names, so I may call it red or green. The ones I know their names is, for right here we know Donnie Bush. Played at the Little League and Rec League football for a long time. He'll be wearing the green. And MJ Davidson will be in the red ankle strap. Donnie's a heck of an athlete here. Last couple of years really came on. Baseball and just brute strength, man. He's a strong kid for 8th grader. Good football player. And you see MJ matching him so far, doing a good job. Like I said, you kind of got to fill your opponent out at this point. You want to see your opponent's strength. You want to see their stance. Maybe they're making a mistake that you can key in on where their feet are, you know, the unbalanced look. You see a foot that they're trying to give you. So this early on, that's kind of what you're doing. Especially when this opponent maybe you haven't seen before or you haven't wrestled much, as these guys, being 8th graders, haven't. We're already clicking down to about a minute to go. There, now we're seeing a little action here as MJ goes down, and if he gets his head out, he gets points, and there it is, 3 points for a takedown. He's quickly trying to get some back points. Donnie does a good job of rolling over on his tongue. MJ Davidson, good takedown. Now you see the aggressiveness out of these Harris County wrestlers when they get the takedown and quickly trying to get some back points, take advantage of it. We're down to 10 seconds left. Saw the scorekeeper walk out there, tap the official. We're at 5 seconds. Donnie trying not to go to his back and give any points up. Now he's going to try to get an escape, and he can't. Green wins the toss, so let's see if he defers for the next third period. And MJ's going to take down. He's going to try to get him an escape point real quick and steal him a point. See Donnie, hand on his belly button, hand on the elbow. They blow the whistle. So he's trying to take MJ back down, not letting him get that escape point. He's got to find a way to get MJ on his back. Here comes Davidson, about to get an escape. You can see the hands pulling away, and he gets away. There's that point that MJ was wanting to get. Now Donnie trying to got to get your leg free and get control of him before you can get a takedown. MJ doing a great job. You see him drop down to his knees and kick his feet back. They're sprawling. They're on the edge over there. Donnie's going to try to get behind him. MJ holding on. There he goes. Now Donnie's got the 3 for the takedown. And they go out of bounds and go back to where we were when this period started. Davidson on the ground and Donnie Bush top control. Like I said, that ref waits. You get a hand on his elbow, hand on that belly button, he's going to blow it. He's trying to pry them hands down. Good job by Donnie trying to get the feet. He can't. MJ Davidson breaks loose. Good fundamentals by MJ Davidson. Now we kind of lock up and back to where the match was at, just kind of filling each other out. See who makes the first move. And see who, maybe you're just trying to bait your opponent into making a move and then you can take advantage of it and have a counter. As we get up, we're just approaching 20 seconds left here in the second period. Still just a 2-point match. Donnie's got the legs. Let's see what he can do here. MJ hasn't gave him control. He don't have control yet. There's 7 seconds. Donnie's trying to get control. And he can. It stays 6-4 with 1 second left. That was close to a takedown for Donnie Bush. So he looks over to see what they want to do. They're going to take neutral. So here we go, just 2 minutes. We're close on the points. This match looks like it's going to come down to points. If somebody don't make a big mistake, end up on your back, which we mentioned before. It happens quick in wrestling. One mistake could really just wrap it up for you. Now we see MJ trying to get some points with a takedown. As now we see Donnie in a bad position. He's trying to get around. Now MJ's getting a good spot to get 3 points, and he does. Stretches that lead out. Big 5-point lead. 5 points is huge. Because you can give Donnie a escape, give him 1 point, then give your opponent 3 for a takedown. You're still ahead with a minute to go. Not ideal, but it gives you that breathing room in the point situation. Now up by 5. He's trying to find a way to flip Donnie over. Donnie trying to find a way to get out of this and get in a spot where he can get some takedowns. It's looking like with 30 seconds, MJ Davidson doing a great job this whole match. They're creeping out of bounds. There they go. Now Donnie will go down with MJ get behind him and finish this match off. We've got 10 seconds. One second. There is some wrestlers not going tonight. We'll run down some of those. Matt Van Wettering, he was 48-2 last year and placed 5th at state, won the region. Davis Brooks was 43-9 last year. Easton Bourne, remember, he was a state runner-up last season. He had a record of 51-6. Then sophomore Liam Colley, sophomore Matt Love won't be going. Then West Sappington had 29 wins last year. Sappington and Colley football players. They got playoffs coming up next week. We have Cadence Robalis, Michael Outman, and Lillian Medlin. Those are the only ones not going. Outman Went 3-2 in the sectionals last year. So we get ready for our 5th match of the night. Nolan Cummings and Jonathan Gardner, 2 8th graders. Getting ready to compete. So we see them wiping off the mat. See, try to, well, we said, fill each other out, see what's going on. These guys are moving a whole lot faster than the heavier weight classes. He's trying to get behind him quick. And here he goes. If he can get behind him there's your back points. You're going to try to fold that arm in and use some leverage to get him over on the back. He's got the half in. No, you don't. Trying to see. We're inside a minute. There's his half. He's going to get to the side of him. There he goes. Now he's going to try to use his knee, and I think that's trying to push him over on his back. Still can't do it. Still can't do it. The ref making sure that he has an arm in there. Better get your hand. About to get called for the locking hands. He's got that arm. And there's an escape. With 5 seconds left. Nice crowd for a scrimmage match here. Inter squad. See what they want to do here. This Red's down. He takes top. He's going to try to find a way to get his opponent over. And let's see if he can do it. He comes out like a ball of fire from that bottom. So he's got to get that leg loose to get that escape, or get behind him and get a reversal. Let's see what they want to go with. There's a reversal, gets us 2 points. Now he's flipped him over. Now he's in control, and he's doing a great job of getting back on his belly. You see Green got to get him over. He got 2 back points, really stretched his lead up. So he's going to try to get some more. If he can roll him, he's getting him there. And now he's laid across them shoulders. So he's going in position for a pin. Let's see. He's got them shoulder blades up, but it's getting close. If he could pick his head up, if he could just pick his head up a little bit, he'd get the pin, I think. He's trying to get them hips over. He's fighting for it. And he does. Nope, he's back on his back. He keeps fighting. You see he's got his leg bent over his hips. If you're on top, that's why you want him. Pick his head up a little bit, and you got the pin, and there it is. Great job, both young guys. One fighting it off as long as he could. The other one staying with it. Perseverance pays off and gets the pin. And let's pause real quick here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We're back on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, Kudzu Sports, as we got Gabriel Brown and Declan Sito. See, these lightweights are fun to watch, man. They're jittery. They're not jittery in a nervous way, just twitchy. They're fast. Everything's fast. It's a lot different than the heavier weights, but it's fun. Is these guys staying neutral and right back into being aggressive. Now he's trying to get. They're going to call 3 for a takedown. There he is behind him. He's trying to find a way to get him rolled up. He got a plan. That was a nice move. Didn't quite pay off like he would like to get the back points, but shows his aggressiveness right here. So he's going to try to sling him back into the circle. See, Gabriel, oh, that's the only bad thing about that move. He tried it earlier. Now he stays on his back. As they're right here in front of this announcer's table that Harris County left for me and Chris. As they're going to call him out. They're going to bring him back to the center. He's going to take the top. They're going to ref. Knows they got younger wrestlers. Gets him lined up right. Really impressed with the aggressiveness from the younger wrestlers in this scrimmage that they're having. There's an escape. They're going to call time. Me and Chris, this is the first wrestling event Georgia Alabama Sports Live has had, hasn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, so first broke in with some volleyball this year. Flag football, a lot of flag football this season. Last year, I believe we had just the Harris County Pacelli flag football game. This year, it's every week. Of course, for Harris County, we've been able to pull off the sports, volleyball, flag football, softball, and football. You see trying to get him an escape. Both of them doing a good job. Keeps pushing them hands. There he separates the hands. He can spin. He gets out of it. As we did Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and Kudzu Sports brought Harris County every football game. All 10 games was broadcast and streamed live on Facebook and YouTube. And hopefully this year we get to bring more wrestling to you here in the county. As we see him on his back. So he went from down 4 to tying it up. Now he's getting back points to take a lead and could pin his opponent. He can keep his hips, just keep turning. And good job of setting in there. Now he arches his back, trying to bridge. He just keep his shoulder blades up as long as he can. And there's going to be a pin. Great job by both young men. You saw came out and took a big lead. Not a big lead, just took a lead. The next period came in and got the pin after being down, so never give up, that's why. We mentioned doing all the county sports we've done. We couldn't do it without Starling Southern Real Estate, Moss & Sons Feed and Seed, Christ Chapel Hamilton, the Whistling Pig, and CareLikeColin.org. And, of course, Harris County Sheriff's Office, Derek Moxley Concrete Service, and State Farm Agent Rick Knight, all big-time supporters of Kudzu Sports and Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and obviously big supporters of Harris County Athletics. As now we go with Kaden Foucher and Isaiah Crowell. So I was told that's the nephew of the running back at Carver and University of Georgia and Alabama State, then the Jets and Browns. His nephew right here at green, you see him taking control, getting him a takedown. As he gets on his back, Crowell needs to shoot a half. Needs to get his half to take leverage. Young wrestlers, they feel like everybody's yelling at them right now. So when the ref yells out points, he's looking at the ref wondering what's going on. You got a 5-0 lead, young fella, doing a great job making eye contact with his coach when he gets control and trying to see what move to do next. He spins around. Foucher trying to get out of this position that he's found himself in. You see Crowell look at the official again. Our buddy Jonathan. Have a timeout for him to tie his shoe. I think he tied his shoe. He tied his shoe so good he couldn't untie it to, to get the long laces back in there. Here we go. Nice quick shoot. There he goes. Try to get his head out. He gets him a takedown. He got his 3 points. And great job right there by Kaden Foucher. Get the reversal. Now he's got to find a way to take it to the ground. He's still trying. See Crowell look at his coach. And he breaks away, gets him an escape. About in the first period, Crowell gets a quick shot. See if he can steal some points at the end of the period. He can't. So he's going to go down. Now we see Crowell hop on the back. You see the caution come out. That's when you're not aligned correctly. And if you get another caution, it won't be a caution. It'll just be a straight point awarded for not being in the right position, hand position. Locking hands. You can't put a full Nelson on somebody. We call it shooting a half. You can put a half Nelson on, but you can't do the full Nelson. It's a illegal hold. Sometimes you'll do these moves not knowing you're even doing it because you're just trying to wrestle around, trying to fight for you. But it feels like you're fighting for your life out there and you got all these people watching. You don't want to embarrass yourself, so comes with time. These two middle schoolers I think he grabbed his headgear. See him fixing his headgear where he grabbed it. Crowell showing good speed, and he's fast, and you can tell he's strong. He just got to get a little bit more control. It'd be fun to talk to Coach Moore and Coach Wingard about bring up Crowell. Locked hands. So what you're going to see here, it looks like they're going to put red go down, but Crowell's going to form a diamond and put it on the back and just let his opponent up and give him 1 point for the escape. Instead of trying to fight and keep the ground of holding him, just let him up. Did he just tell the official, give an escape? Oh, look at that. You just tell the official. Because we got a 9-7 match with all the illegal holds right there. See Crowell going in aggressively, and Foucher trying to fight it off. Now Foucher's got a chance to try to get that leg out. He can't. Crowell's got to get his head out to get it back. And there goes Foucher. He's trying to get to the back. And he gives him a takedown. Let's see if they give it to him. He don't feel like he's in control. They stay the same. No points given to neither. It stays 9-7. See the headgear starting to come off of Foucher. The official about to see it when he makes his round to the front. Let's see if he calls it on. There's a big flip by Crowell. He couldn't pounce on it fast enough to take advantage. He gets a 3 for the takedown, then lets him up. So we're at 10 seconds left here in the second period. See the We're back with you. Rick Beach. Chris Gates producing today. Breaking Chris in on some wrestling. He's never been part of a production of the wrestling event. I haven't either. I'm fortunate to wrestle for 3 years in high school. So we see just a 1-point match. Crowell trying to get behind his opponent. Trying to get behind him. Foucher doing a good job of preventing it here in the last period. Still no points given out right there. He lifts him up. Try to give him another takedown. Give up 1 point to try to score 3. He can poke his head out, try to get control. You hate to give up 1 point and then give away 3 more and have a tied match. He's got the legs wrapped up. So inside 10 seconds. And we're at 2-1, and this will be match. See Crowell win it 16-15. Probably one of the longer matches we had tonight. And we'll pause real quick on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
High prices at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. New full-size GMC Sierras discounted up to $12,500 off. GMC Terrains with a roomy cabin and pro safety discounted $6,500 off. Enjoy your holidays with no payments until February. Choose from over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile. We're hammering down high prices at
And we're back as Jonathan Dean and Devin White, 8th grader and a 10th grader going at it. Here at the Science Technology Center here in Harris County, formerly the middle school. Before that, the high school. And now wrestling and cheerleading. Use this as Harris County's cheer team has had a fantastic season, undefeated, winning every match they've gone to. So it's kind of a building with nothing but winners here. Let's see the locking hands get called. See they're talking, we're getting ready to getting ready to get. So we're going to be joined by wrestling coach Wes Wingard. Here.
Got me.
Yeah. All right, now we're joined by Coach Wes Wingard. Coach, you got the boys coaching this year, and now we see you got a 10th grader, Devin White, going. What have you kind of noticed with these younger wrestlers, like here, 8th grader and a 10th grader, how this improves, makes them better doing this?
Well, it's just good to see them come through all summer. You know, we have a pretty good summer program here. Travel to Tennessee for a tournament for high school wrestlers, 8th graders. So it's just good seeing them get out here and get a full match in with fans in the stands. So in their first match of the year goes, they're not as nervous when they get out there.
Yeah, now these younger guys, they'll be going to Troup County coming up. They got that event up there. So how many wrestlers y'all usually plan on taking that Troup County for that? Is it still a JV match, or how do they do it now?
So this tournament coming up, it's more of kind of like a scramble. So like the kids are going to be guaranteed matches. I think they're looking at maybe 8 to 10 kids per weight class. So we're taking quite a few kids. We'll have multiple kids in certain weight classes. We'll have both older guys and younger guys.
Yeah.
These early matches in the year, you're missing a ton of football players. So a lot of the heavyweights, 150 up, a lot of people are missing their athletes, missing their wrestlers. But it's just good to go ahead and get that mat time, for these young guys. It'll be good, too, because it'll be a very mixed group of competition there.
Yeah, now, yourself, you went to Harris County, you wrestled up here. What's it mean for you to get to be at home now coaching at Harris County?
It's awesome. I wrestled here, graduated in 2008. Coach Odell, Coach Robinson, Gary Zerner, who is around. He's been around this program for a long, long time. Great influence here. It is awesome being back here, being back in the black and gold, and where I wrestled, seeing the improvements of things that we have here, going from a team in the early 2000s who had won one dual match to now winning multiple dual region championships, and just having a consistent year in and year out good team with extremely large numbers.
Yeah, it's been incredible to see over the last, since Coach Moore got here, you really see it blown up into the machine that it is. Now we've moved on with, you got Keller Mitchell and Barrett Bonner. You got 2 8th graders going at it, and you see the aggressiveness out of everybody, even this match with these kids. And just, is that something y'all really try to teach these kids, is aggressiveness?
Yeah, so, we really want our guys to know, like, we're here to impose our will. Like, teams see Harris County on the chest, and they're like, dang, I don't want to wrestle those guys. We're going to be in your face. If you wrestle us, whether it's, the newest wrestler doesn't know much to our most experienced wrestler, they're going to be in your face constantly. That's kind of our style. Like, we're going to be coming after you. We're going to be taking it to you. That just starts as kind of our culture thing. These guys know, like, hey, I'm wrestling. I got to be aggressive and get after it.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, especially the younger guys that they got that aggressiveness. Sometimes they don't have it dialed in control. As we see back points coming, probably a pin maybe coming up. As you see them trying to work on top of it, put them shoulder blades down.
He's switching to regular half.
And he got the pin. This ref, man, he brings in all the pins. Every time he's out there, there's been a pin. You see is now we're going to go to Jackson Anderson and Finn Pratchett, the 7th and 8th grader, going against each other. As you see, it's getting a little bit heavier weight classes now with the middle school kids.
Yeah, so some of these middle school kids here, they've been, like, Antonio's been wrestling with us for quite a while, so it's good seeing him continue to grow. Steven is fairly new with us. He was here all summer, worked really, really hard, so
we're here.
It's great having Steven out here with us.
Is that right? There's going to be an 11th grader and a 10th grader going at 8 and 10. We're at match 11. That's where it threw me off. We're going. I was saying earlier, this is the first wrestling event that Georgia Alabama Sports Live has had. So it's been fun glad Kudzu could bring it out here and bring the county, kind of being the first one, the flag bearer, so to say, as we see these big guys going at it, and it's a whole different style than the lighter weight classes for sure.
Oh yeah, and it's awesome. We appreciate y'all coming here, showing off wrestling, this great facility that Harris County High School and school board's got for us. And I just sent out the link to a few of our former wrestlers that are a couple that are up at Lander. Emmanuel, they hit me back and was like, we're live streaming now. What? Why don't we have this when we were here? So They're like, man, this is better than some of our matches get streamed.
Yeah,
but
we say it all the time, but nobody does it like the county. So we're trying to make sure we get, all the stops. I'm glad, Harris County's got a phenomenal athletic program. And every sport that we, y'all put together seems to be a good product. And I feel wholeheartedly it deserves to be promoted. And I want to show the state and everybody in the Southeast, what we got here in the county.
Yes, sir. And we appreciate everything you do for the county. It's awesome.
You see Maddie getting some mat time, coming out here spreading.
I think this may be the first nosebleed of the year.
Yeah.
So.
I love this event, and usually we have somebody thrown up in a trash can by this point of the scrimmage early in the year. These guys they think they're in match shape. Then they get out on that mat, and it's a whole different ball game.
Oh yeah, it's just like they always say, you can't practice yourself into shape. You got to play yourself or wrestle yourself into shape.
And, we mentioned you went to the county. Now, how about your wife? She played softball for Harris County, and she coaches softball, so she had a pretty good weekend with the state championship. And, just how excited was her having that going on?
Oh, man, it was awesome. I'd get done with football practice. I'd go pick the kids up, kind of. And she's always supporting me, coming to all the football games, bringing the kids, staying up late. So it was awesome to get to kind of take the kids and just sit back and watch her and Coach Jenkins and that staff just have such a great year, and great last weekend with those girls. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's fun to see it. I mean, it's like I said with Coach Wingard, your wife, just knowing that she was alumni and played at the county. It just was so cool to see her get that moment of, getting that state championship, bringing it back to the county, and what a special moment Saturday was for everybody. How about all that black and gold from? It was just about from the foul line all the way down, from the foul pole all the way around, was black and gold. By far the most fans of any team at the South Common. So it was a great turnout. And like we said, every sport can be like that and is like that at some point during the season. When y'all have the king of the county, y'all got that place packed out. And that's, right here, December, y'all start getting the king and queen of the county. Just put on a great show.
Oh, yeah. The King of the County has been a great tournament since Coach Morris got here and started running that thing. I was head coach at Upson Leah for 5 years, and we'd always come over here and wrestle in it because it's such a great event. So when I got here, it's just awesome to be a part of it. We got teams from all over the state want to come in, teams on waiting lists trying to get into it. And then our Queen of the County tournament, I think at one point it was looking at like one of the largest girls tournaments in the entire state of Georgia.
Wow.
So, it's just great to watch girls wrestling grow. I think we had 10 girls today here at practice, so our numbers are growing. Really looking forward to that really excelling.
Yeah, you can tell, too. You look up in the stands, y'all got it packed out for a scrimmage, so when you're starting the dual matches, what kind of crowd y'all putting in here. Just phenomenal turnout for this, and many of these parents haven't seen wrestling. It's not a sport you come up as many people. I know Coach Moore's trying to bring it in as we see a little cradle action going right here.
That's Antonio's go-to right there.
Is getting us, trying to get them legs figured out. He's trying to flip him over. He's got his back point. He's got the forward back points. He's got that rule change. I like it to an extent because you can get the more points. They should be valuable. A takedown shouldn't be just 1 point more than an escape. As now it looks like he's got it locked in a little bit better and gets the pin. Yeah, having the 3 points for a takedown to me makes more sense because an escape, you can make the gain out a little more, stretch it out.
Absolutely, and it kind of goes back to college. It really promotes that aggressive, in-your-face type of wrestling to get the action moving.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like people from outside, they like seeing high-scoring games and of any sport. A lot of people don't like those low-scoring games. Now, me as a defensive guy, I like a low-scoring football game. But as far as wrestling goes, I really like to see those guys get those points, get takedowns, get up and get moving.
As now we see Cooper Smith and Tanner Sizemore.
2 8th graders.
Yeah, got 2 8th graders coming from the middle school. I love Harris County being able to do that with the middle school and high school. Now with the middle school being right next door at the high school, see in all sports, you can see it, and you can just see it paying off at every sport. And, we see these 2 8th graders looking like little kids, but just come back in a couple of years when they're sophomores in high school, they're going to be bigger, faster, stronger, and more knowledgeable from doing this for so long.
Yeah, it's awesome being able to have these programs together. One, they already getting on the same terminology, know what's expected of them in high school, so when they get there's no shock to them. That's got a takedown there, a reversal. And just knowing what's expected of them when they move up here. So, and I think that's big for the county, being one school county in all sports. We got to get that from the bottom up, knowing our terminology in all sports and moving through that way.
Yeah, it's like I talked to Coach Watson about it before football season, and the knowing the terminology, knowing what's expected, knowing what the standard is. Coach Moore has a very high standard, or else he wouldn't be as successful. But when you know that going in, you know it as a 7th grader, what you're expected out, what he expects out of you. I just think it makes you, like you said, the culture better being at this young age, and it's just a phenomenal advantage you get over people.
Absolutely.
As we see the officials out here, Jonathan, me and Jonathan wrestled with Coach Scott together at Jordan. So it's fun seeing him out here. And usually DeCaesaris, another official with the GHSA, he wrestled with us too.
So. I know Blake Bourne, who is the head of the officials in Columbus Association, we wrestled against each other in high school.
It's fun.
So he wrestled at Shaw. So wrestling community kind of sticks around, stays with each other. It's a tight-knit group of people. It
is. I mean, I ended up graduating in Tennessee, and those guys, it's been 20 years, and we still talk to one another, and just inside jokes that we've kept for 20 years now. It's been fun, but it is. All them jokes started at hotel rooms throughout the Southeast that one year.
That's right.
And plus, I mean, when you're at practice, you're close to each other. You're physically, that bonds you close together.
Yeah, wrestling there's definitely nowhere to hide. So you got to get in there and go for it. There's no hiding behind anyone. So.
Well, like I tell people all the time, I love it because if you make a mistake, you end up on your back. There's no teammate coming to save you. The coach can't come out there and make an adjustment for you. You got to find a way to fight through it and give yourself another chance, or else you're pinned.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely an individual sport, so you definitely got to get these kids to understand that once they're on the mat, they have to have the gumption to fight through. But also, I know Coach Moore's always had his teams, and these teams here, like as individuals this is, you are a team. You are pushing for it. I've had coaches since I got here that I knew from other places across the state. They'd call me and say, how does Coach Moore, how do y'all get these kids to believe so much when they wrestle as a team in dual matches? It's like, we just tell them it's important. And, this became a part of culture here that they want to win. They don't just want to win as individuals. They want to win as a team for their teammates. It's a sign of pride.
Yeah, I mean, as much as an individual sport that it is, your actions go to the team. I mean, if you get pinned, you just gave away team points. So it is important to, try to fight through, not to get pinned, just to save those team points at the duels. And it's incredible what it teaches you and how it prepares you for, which the whole point of athletics in high school, prepares you for after high school. And this is just a phenomenal sport. So we see, let's get to the end of the second period here. Now, were these two 8th graders involved when they were 7th graders, or were they new to the program?
So these two guys, they and Cooper was around. They've been kind of around this program, 7th graders. We still got a good youth wrestling program going too. So we're starting to see a lot of these kids in our 9th grade, 10th grade class down. They have actually been involved in that youth at some point. It starts with 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds can be out there. We're actually trying to host a youth tournament in December here. So it's it'll be great. So our Harris County Wrestling, the youth rec department has that going on. They practice in the facility as well after our practices. So it's awesome seeing little kids run around, finding that love of wrestling that 7, 8 years old. So when they get up here to high school, it's fine tuning.
Yeah, you got to think how many high schoolers aren't even exposed to wrestling until their freshman year. And they don't even know it's a sport until they get to a high school and
absolutely
see it. So it's such an advantage that you get. But it's, just phenomenal. The time, look how many kids y'all got out here for a inter squad where coaches would, only dream of doing an inter squad like this.
Yeah, it's great, man. Like when you look at stuff too, the inter squads, like these young guys, you see a lot of stuff where they might not be doing something right totally, but just seeing them and just the little things, you can say, well, we have been working on that, so at least they're trying. They're trying the stuff that we're working on, so you're seeing those, what we've done at practice, translate into matches, and just, if you can make that translate, and that wrestling is one sport that if you put in work, put in that extra work, you can get good quick in it. So there's a pin there. Good job putting the half in and raking it.
Yeah, I remember the pressure, just the wrestle off would get you so ready for some matches. Yeah, I remember just wrestle-offs at practice would be so nerve-wracking because you're in front, doing everything in front of your team, but then you go to a gymnasium like this where it's packed out. You're like, oh, this is what pressure feels like. This is what. But once you do it, like this for many of these kids, they'll never feel it again because they've done it before.
Absolutely. This is one of the things you got to teach these young kids before they get in the tournament. Those ankle bands they put on when they're out there, they got to make sure they return them. So.
Yeah, that's the last thing on your mind.
Yeah, that's one good thing about doing this. They go to that first tournament, they don't know to check into the table, they don't know when to wait for their name. So,
yeah, I do like how y'all make them check in, even though y'all no need for it, really, but it's just to teach them what all you have to do at the tournament.
Yeah, just knowing the little things, knowing the little intricacies, so that when they get out there, whether or not they perform well on the mat, they're trying. We're at least going to go out there looking like we know what we're doing.
That's half the game, it seems like, when you go to these things. So he's already trying to get a.
Did a good job there not doing an illegal headlock, kicking the arm. So.
And he's got a pin right quick.
Good job being conscious of what he was doing there.
That's just knowing what you're doing right there. Once he got that arm pulled up a little bit, cranked on that head a little, that neck, got the pin. Now we see 2 8th graders with Jack Johnson and Jackson Russell. Jack, he's been in the program a while. We know got his brothers over at Huntington.
Oh yeah, his brother Brock was a great wrestler for us. He's one too that he came in with not very much experience, and he really took to the coaching and really, paid attention to everything we were teaching, and he just grew so much in his couple years with us. Now he's doing really good up in Huntington.
Yes, fun to see. I mean, it's always fun at every sport. It seems Harris County's got kids. I mean, you've seen how packed that stage is on signing day. So it's fun seeing them do well at Huntington. Get on Facebook and you see him. I think he was a captain they had at the match, a couple weeks ago. So it's fun.
Yeah.
And Jack followed right in his footsteps. And
yeah, both these kids here, Jack and Jackson, they are both in-your-face kids. They love wrestling. They seem to love practice. They always got a smile on their face when they walk in the gym all summer. They're there, smiling, waiting for it to start. Coming straight from football, middle school football, come up to the gym after that, ready to wrestle some more.
Yeah, it's fun. A lot of these kids that never wrestled before, till they get to this, 8th, 9th grade, they've been playing football and baseball their whole life. They fall in love with it so fast. It's fun to see and hear them talk about it. And I think that's kind of what happened with Jack, even with his brother wrestling. But once he got on the mat, you could tell how fast he fell in love with it.
It's just such a transformational sport with, stuff it teaches you with, your weight and your body and just sheer body control, whether it's, managing weight, or just learn how to understand how your body moves.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And it's on you. Like it's not just depending your weight stuff. All that stuff's on you. You're responsible for it. Your coach can't be with you 24/7. Middle of the night when you think you want. You just have to do everything the right way, and you do it for the team.
Right.
And it's just so much. We see two guys going out of here.
Yeah, two guys here like to kind of wrestle a little upper body here. Not too much shooting. They like to kind of work in, pummel in.
Yeah, trying to.
Looking for the big move.
Straight head and shoulder, flip them over, try to get them on their backs. There you see them trying for it right there.
Trying to barrel in for a bear hug.
Yeah, just know what your go-to is. We go a scoreless first period. And I was saying earlier, the first get in, that's all you got to do is fill out your opponent, try to see if they make a mistake or really how strong they are. That's your biggest thing you're looking for, because sometimes these wrestlers will throw you off. You'll see somebody, oh, man, he looks like he ain't going to have nothing. Then you grab a hold of him and you realize you done grabbed a grown man.
That's true. There's so many kids who after a match will walk like, Coach, man, your guy was so strong. Or our guys get back, it's like, Coach, your guy was so strong. It's like, well, weigh the same. It's like, because you understand, They might not necessarily be strong in the weight room. It could just be their grip or just, the weird thing in wrestling is you might not be the strongest person, but if you know how to position your body and kind of hit, like, not necessarily pressure points, but how to engage your weight properly, you can feel like 1,000 pounds on top of somebody.
Yeah, I remember at Tennessee we had practice, the first practice we went to. Of course, it was a new school, but Coach would have us, and we had to learn to shaking hands. But he wanted us to give that real tight, real firm, because he said that's where you're telling your opponent you're there for business, you're strong, you're not, and you wouldn't believe, there's a big, get his head out for a takedown, but you wouldn't believe how many kids just stick their hand out there, and it kind of, to us, it was a sign of weakness if you wouldn't just grab somebody's hand or, want to show your strength right off the bat.
Oh yeah, you can definitely, some kids can be easily intimidated.
Right.
Doing that, that's another thing. Like here, it's like, hey man, it doesn't matter how big or strong they are. We're gonna be better technically. We're gonna work out, be better, stronger. We're gonna be faster. So it's that's another thing. It's like we don't care who comes across. We have Harris County, we have county on our chest. It doesn't matter who comes across from us. We're gonna take it to them like they're equal to us. So, and I think our kids take that to heart. They do a good job. They're wrestling a state champ. I know. One of the guys, Matt Love, who was out here being a bopper, he 2 years ago went to a camp. He was, as a freshman, he ended up wrestling, I think 3 state champs from 3 different states. But he got after every one of them. He didn't win, but he tried to get a takedown and got after it for the whole time. But
you going against that kind of competition, and you realize where you got to take your game. Well, okay, I thought I was doing good, but these guys, they're state champion, I see why.
Yep.
It's what they're doing, what can I do to become that?
Absolutely. There's definitely total different levels of wrestling when you look around, and then obviously if you go out west or up north, things change even more.
Yeah, we're talking about that strength, the side point. It don't matter how strong you are if you don't know how to use it in wrestling. If you could catch yourself out of position in a heartbeat. It'll take one mess up and quickly how bad you're on your back trying to get out of it. So
absolutely.
We're going to the third period here, just a 1-point match. See what Jackson Russell goes down as Jack Johnson's going to take top, down by a point. There they go. So I'm trying to got them locking hands. Oh. It seems like, they blow the whistle so much and people watching think, man, they all holding hands. But you don't realize how easy it is to lock hands.
Yeah,
you just grab it under there trying to think you got an arm.
So many people think you got to be squeezing your hands, holding them together, but once you're in control, your arms can't touch. You can't even have your fingers touching. Like kids will say that I wasn't a lot; they were just touching. Like
that's it.
You can't touch. Usually refs will give you some reaction time once you hit that mat, but as the season goes on, you get in the sectionals. If you go down, they're looking for it. If it touches, they're gonna hit you quick.
Oh yeah, and the more you do it, you learn your body. You learn. You can feel it. You can feel your hands about to touch. You can feel when the arm moves out. But when you have 2 8th graders, you're not going to feel it because you're just trying to stay alive at this point.
Especially when it gets in this third period. Most middle schools, you don't wrestle 3 2-minute periods. You'll wrestle like 2-1-1. So
yeah,
once you get late like this, mind starts getting tired. There's a caution there. Just moved right before the whistle went. You see that a lot in big tournaments when there's multiple mats going on, multiple refs, multiple officials blowing their whistles.
Trying to time it out.
Yep.
And like I said, some officials are quick. As soon as that hand touches, they blow the whistle. And some of them take that hesitation, and Jack got caught right there. Now they go out.
Yeah, that's something in wrestling too. Like, as much as you scout your opponents, you kind of got to scout the officials a little bit. Not necessarily know what they call, what they don't call, but like there's some official that hey, this guy's gonna call stalling. It's not a bad thing, right or wrong. It's just he's gonna call it a couple seconds quicker than this other ref over here you might wrestle. So
some of them don't give the benefit on a pin. If you're on your back, they quick on the whistle. And you see that real common, especially in tournaments where I've always felt the refs are trying to get through the matches faster. So they're going to be a lot quicker to call that pin, where sometimes in a dual match, they give you the benefit of the doubt and stretch it out a little bit.
Absolutely.
Jack going to have to try to get some points. He might just want to get an escape since you got the new rule.
It is true here. That's one thing we talked about. You give 1 point up right here, and then you're down by 3, and you can get a takedown and tie it right back up. So you can give up 1 and tie it up, but he's trying to get legs in, go for a turn. He's got 1, 2, he got 3 points. He's got 4 now.
There he goes. Don't let him up.
He got the back points right there.
Got 4 back points. Thank you from. How about that to finish the match for Jack Johnson?
Yeah, that's one thing his brothers really good at too, is riding legs. So that's one thing we try to teach here as well. But yeah, that was a good match there to finish it last second. Both those kids right there wrestled hard.
Yeah, they'll be around for a while. They're not going anywhere.
We're looking for good things out of both of them when they get up in high school.
So now we're going to go to Carter, Sito, and Remington, Singleterry.
Yeah, Carter here, he's been around wrestling a long time for us. And then Remington, he wrestled really well. He went to up at Chattanooga with us this summer, and he did a really good job up there at that wrestling camp. So I'm interested to see how this match goes here.
Yeah, Chattanooga's become like a wrestling hub down here in the southeast, it seems like.
Yeah, great campus. Kids really enjoyed it. Very knowledgeable staff. So great experience up there this past summer with our team.
Let me see yet again that aggressiveness coming out with how fast when the match shot, solid chance to shot in.
Trying to get wrist control so he can work his next move here. It's kind of the key to wrestling, controlling the arms and the wrists of your opponent.
Then, once you get a hold of it, then you got to think about what you're going to do sometimes because you really didn't have a plan.
Oh, yeah. Just like he may be trying to get that thing tucked in tight, trying to maybe hit a tilt here. We've been working those. There he goes with the
rolls
tilt.
it. Now, good job of rolling out, but you got 4 back points.
Yep. So now he's completely released it. So if he goes back to it now, he can roll and get another 4.
That used to blow my mind watching the kids that the wrestlers that could really do that and would take their opponent and just the mental capacity to handle that, knowing what knowing that you're that much better or something like that was always incredible.
Yeah, you know, kind of going back talking about with team points being a team game. You know, we've won dual matches because we've had kids get ticked instead of getting pinned.
Yeah.
So, you know, just knowing tried there, didn't quite get it set up. You know, just knowing what you have to do while you're wrestling and what points to score, you know, it's big.
And you see, you know, people watching your coach, when they look back, you can't see it on the screen. We got coaches on each side. So you try to look back at your coaches. And when you go to tournaments more so, you got kids in the stands, you got kids from other teams that you become buddies with yelling at you what to do. Your coaches yelling at you what to do. So stuff like this with these kids learning. Look at your coach. Try to ignore the outside noise, ignore everybody else, and just focus on their coach. Then we saw earlier the Crowell match that every time somebody talked, he'd quit wrestling and break it off. So that learning, this is the whole point of this whole scrimmage is learning for these younger guys.
Absolutely. It's, you know, one thing is like trusting your coach. Like some of them, the ref asking questions, they don't know what to say. And so you're trying to get them to look at you, you're trying to tell them. Well, then they have the headgear on so they can't hear you. So they're looking at you, don't know what you're saying. You're yelling, they're just looking at you. And so you kind of got to go through like the signals with them, what it means to choose top. You know, we had I won't say a situation, but we told a kid was wrestling, and you know it's kind of later in the year, and the coach gave him somebody gave him a thumbs up, like, "Hey, you're doing a good job out there." And the ref had asked him what he chose, so he said, "Oh, choose top," and he was just giving, like, the kid didn't know what he was saying, so he gave us a thumbs up. So you know, just understand little things like that, like. You know, that could cost you a match there. You know, the ref says you got to take top.
What's going on? Because a lot heat of the moment, you're not thinking. This guy's been out there, been to camps and stuff, and just knowing what he's doing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Being able to hold that foot in, you know, it's like a receiver toe tap in on the sideline. You know, people that do that are kids that have been around the game for a while.
Yeah, and I mean, that's 3 points you just kind of stole by keeping your foot in.
Absolutely.
He's going to try to twist him here. He's got him in the middle. If he keeps walking him over, no, let's see, yeah.
Taking his time.
Now, if he can crank that neck up, he'll get the pin, I believe. There it is. So, nice match. Just showing, you know, how much fundamentals and how much skill set he had right there. So now we get some females.
Yep.
The girls' teams. We mentioned Coach Roland. We hated she couldn't make it, feeling under the weather. Let's see. So who's going to take red? Let's see.
We got Ava taking red and Scarlett taking green.
Scarlett. Ava.
Red. So both these girls here have wrestled with us for a few years. So, you know, they've seemed to fall in love with it. And really get after it at practice. So
you see the.
Yeah, this is something. This sport's growing so fast, man, and the technicality of these girls wrestling like year after year is just growing so much. I mean, it's a good job there with a direction change. Get behind.
Well, you think just 15 years ago, 10 years ago, you might have one girl on the team and she had to wrestle a boy, and it was, now you got whole tournaments and sectional state championship, but the queen of the county, just how fast the girls wrestling's grew is incredible.
Yeah, there's always been girls that wanted to wrestle, but I do think that, the fact that, they were having to wrestle guys, it's definitely a big deterrent among these female athletes wanting to come out. But, now that GHS has separated it, I mean, it's just like boys and girls basketball. It's two separate sports, two separate state tournaments. So girls and guys will not wrestle at all throughout the season.
And I remember that Friday, the sectionals that y'all hosted last year, the turnout for that tournament was incredible. The parents, family members coming to watch. And it's like, this is a girls' tournament, and 20 years ago, never dreamed it would be like that.
It's a good job there, transition, trying to get a cradle, then trying to work back to a butcher there. A good series that we worked last year.
See, Ava's, there she found that foot. She was hunting for it. She flips her over. She got her feet. Felt like, they called the pin. I felt like she was trying to get on her toes.
Yeah, I think it may have caught a knee right there to the face when she flipped her over. But that just shows toughness too of these girls, man. Like, you know, it's totally different just how tough you got to be to do this sport. You know, and then you see this. You know, that's the good thing about wrestling right there. You wrestle your opponent, you end up hitting each other in the face and the nose, and then you come off, you know, and you're friends with each other.
Yeah, I mean, you respect your opponent, even when it's, you know, at the same school here, but when you go to these matches, a lot of these tournaments, you find yourself wrestling the same people, you know, at most of the tournaments. So, yeah, you kind of form a bond with them, too, where you want to beat them, and for the, you know, 6 minutes you're on the mat with them, you're trying to wipe the floor with them, but when it's over, you're back to being buddies and supporting them in other matches.
Absolutely.
As we see two more.
Yeah, here we got Olivia and Caroline Ruiz. Caroline's new to us. It's her first year. She was thought about it last year, couldn't quite talk her into it. Olivia's been around for a couple years with us. She's really transformed a lot since her freshman year. So, and she works, as you can tell, she works so hard at practice every single day to be good. She wants to be good. She loves wrestling. So, you know, and she's been in a couple of FCA wrestling camps. You know, they do, you know, wrestling has their own little FCA chapter. And she's been in some girls camps for that. So.
It's fun. She's already got, she let it go. She had that half. And she pulled out, so. She's working her again to try to get them shoulders over.
Yep.
Walk to her head.
Trying to take her time, sink it deep, kind of lost that arm there. So
you see the technical side of it, and that's why you see her when she shoots that half, she's trying to swing her feet towards the head of her opponent to flip her shoulders over. And a good job of preventing that from happening. You know what your opponent's trying to do to you.
So she's putting up a heck of a fight for girls coming here for her first year. So it's just awesome to see that. So I think by the end of the year we'll have these girls doing some real good things.
And that's what you'll see, especially at this scrimmage, and we keep harping on how big of a deal it is. But for y'all coaches, to see what kind of fight people have in them, to see, you know, how bad they don't want to get pinned and stuff like that. And then so now we'll go to Logan James and Justin Smith, a 9th grader and an 8th grader.
We got our Davis Brooks out there. You know, he's a good wrestler for us. He's trying to keep this mat dry, keep the sweat dried up, with a little bit of humidity. So that's
pretty quick. I mean, you get the schedule and you have, you know, around 30 matches, but they're going pretty fast. They're doing a good job of keeping them in and out.
Yes, you know, this isn't really necessarily a tournament, but that's one thing I know Coach Moore really prides himself, and all of us here do, is we host an event, tournament, whatever, you know, we really want to show the county and run things as professional and as quickly and as seamlessly as possible. So I know that's kind of Harris County in general, you know, trying to do it like the county does, you know.
Yeah.
You come to Harris County, you expect good events to be put on.
Yes, try to, you know, we said earlier, nobody does it like the county. You try to take it to heart, and, you know, we do it with the broadcast. We'll do a football game and say, okay, well, how can we make the next one a little bit better? You know, we did it this year. I had producer Brandon Schwobel, and we did a bunch of the football games together. In the road games, we'd be talking, and we'd see a quick takedown. And that's, you know, them car rides, we end up doing the captain's pictures, the starting lineup. We see a quick pin
there by Logan.
Yes, he goes in and out. But, you know, just by the end of the year, we had a ticker at the bottom. We had all kind of stuff added up there.
Yeah, I mean,
just trying to step it up. But Coach Moore, this, as many times he's done this, it's changed. I remember multiple mats a couple times. But this setup right here, with us being here, it makes it so much easier for us just having one mat. But just how fast y'all run through them is incredible.
Yeah, on matches like, or tournaments like our King of the County, at some points at a high school gym, we're running 7 mats at one time.
Yeah.
So, 4 on the floor, 3 up top. So it's a lot of stuff going on at one time.
Was it the sectionals last year? I was there doing the cover with kudzu, and man, y'all had me running. You go look at the schedule. Y'all have a wrestler up top, then back down to the bottom, and back to the top. I think you was up top coaching the matches that were going on up there. And it's like, daggum, this is killing.
Yeah, that's the great thing too here about them allowing Coach Moore to have so many people on the staff. With Coach Johnson allowing him to hire people and getting everything set up for us to have this many coaches allows us to have this many kids and run these tournaments to where we can still coach our guys. If you're a typical program where you got 2 coaches, if you try to run a tournament, you got 1 coach trying to coach, and you got 4 mats running. It's really hard to be coaching your kids.
Yeah, I mean, you see it with some of the other schools. They got other wrestlers coaching. Then when I'd be going up and down the steps back and forth, there'd be coaches going up and down the steps for some of these schools. But it goes to the program that Coach Moore's built here. And, the school allows him to do the things to get the staff members because they know what kind of program he has, and that if he says he needs it, then they know he needs it.
Yes, sir.
And it's going for the greater good. I done lost track of our. I think we got Jackson Smith and Owen Ripple. I was wondering all the wrestlers are hanging around Coach Moore, and I see you got the snack box open next to him.
Yeah, getting a little snack in. It's a long evening for these guys. Wrestling's just. Like most other sports, they go late into the evening. Then it's Owen Ripple there in the red with the red anklet on, going against Smith.
2 freshmen.
But yeah, it's one thing we talked to. You need to eat, you need to drink, you need to hydrate. But also need to sit here and support our teammates.
Yeah.
So they can understand that, but. At the same time, you get like, go get once you get done wrestling, go get you a bite to eat, get fueled up. Because typically you don't wrestle 1 match a night. You're gonna wrestle 1, you're gonna wrestle 2.
Yeah. Yeah, the 2 matches, you get the duels, you get a couple matches knocked in, but you go to a tournament, especially on a Saturday, you hope to be wrestling a lot of matches. You hope to be there all day. Means you're winning.
Yeah.
Staying there most of the day. You don't want to be able to eat lunch when you go to them tournaments because that means you got knocked out early.
That's right. Yeah, they increased the number of matches you can wrestle in a day last year, just by 1. But that can make for a long day, and then especially some of these kids that wrestled at freshman state last year. It's the USA tournament, and there's no time limit. There's no time limit between matches. That they may wrestle a match, and 15 minutes later, they may wrestle a 6-minute match. 15 minutes later, they got to go wrestle again.
Yeah.
So good mat return there.
Yeah, brought him down with control. You got to have control of him. So it takes discipline to do that sometimes when you pick them up.
Yeah, to be able to hit down, and that's where most kids there, like you saw there, as soon as he got down into the mat, his hands split, and he moved to transition to his next move.
See, he's trying to. This is the thinking game part. We're trying to find a way to flip them over at this point.
Yeah, we try to tell our guys when we're on top, you want to keep enough pressure so they can't get up, but at the same time, use this to slow down and catch your breath and be methodical on top so that when you do flip over to the back, we can finish them.
Yeah, I mean, you want to have a plan, and this is the only time you really get to think is when you're in this position. Because right now when you're on that bottom, see, calls him out.
There for being out.
That Ripple's a lanky kid when he stood up. Finally get to see.
Yeah, Owen's been wrestling for years for it. He's doing really well. We're excited for his growth on the mat.
I like seeing them when they get like this, both of them being aggressive, and instead of wanting to just walk around and stall out a little bit, they're trying to get after it.
I mean, and that's what you want to see in these two. Like, you want to see, like, which kids are getting after it, you know. And if a kid has the aggressiveness and he gets after it, and it's like, we can work with that. You know, there's stuff you can work with. You know, it's kind of like the old saying, you know, coaching linebackers. If you got a linebacker that won't come downhill, maybe they shouldn't play linebacker. You know. So, but yeah, if you got a wrestler that's not aggressive, you know, and that's just something you can put it into them, but it's a lot harder to do that than somebody who's already has that aggressive bone in their body.
Yeah, you mentioned linebacker. I want to go real quick. The football, I had somebody actually sent me a message today on Facebook. They asked about, did the football team make the playoffs? Because it's been so long since it seemed like there's been a football game. And I had to tell them, yeah, but the hurricane week, how odd has this been to you and y'all as a staff to go this long between football games at the most important part of the season?
Man, it's been crazy. I mean, we were talking when the season started, like, man, we got that bye week. It's going to be tough. We're going to have a long stretch in region, you know, which, you know, it was a long stretch, a lot of tough games there. And we're like, we're going to have that week off for the playoffs. Just kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
Then you got two. So, you know, but it's been, honestly, I think it's really been a blessing in disguise for us. We're getting 2 weeks to get our guys healthy. And, you know, luckily we're still, you know, 3A down, big double leg there by Christian Quiones. You know, 3A down, you know, they're based their playoffs off power rankings. So, you know, talking to some of my friends around the state, you know, Callaway, like, they finished, they don't know who they're going to play in the playoffs first round. This hurricane week, like, depending on what happens Friday, their opponent changes. They can't get ahead. So, and we're lucky enough, we've known for 3 weeks or 2 weeks who we're going to play. So, you know, we've been kind of, you know, it's more working on ourselves, getting healthy, but, you know, in our mind, we know who we got and what we got to do. You know, it'd be really tough if we were waiting until this Friday to know who we had to play next week.
Yeah, you know, fortunate, but I've told people that our region has got to be in 4A, the toughest region around. But then with the upset that last weekend, where Stars Mills now a 3 seed, I said there's some poor 2 seed that's going to get Stars Mills coming into the playoffs. And it just shows the depth. I mean, we're 7-3. We're a 4 seed. I mean, it shows just incredible depth in the region on that as we see Kaden Goolsby giving some aggression back right here.
Well, you know, you say poor 2 seed. Well, if they go beat that 2 seed, poor 1 seed. You know,
I mean,
you know, you pretty much 3-way tie for first there. You know, a couple points here and there, it could have been a 4-way tie, 3-way tie between a bunch of teams in this region. So,
yeah, I mean, I know you coached it. Don't want to say it, but you don't want to hear it either. Just how close that them couple points from us is. You know, we could have been the wrench in everything on just a play here and there. I mean, I tell people all the time, you know, easily 9-1, but, you know, 10-0 wasn't even out of the question when you look at how them games went and just the swings of momentum that we had that just never got the pendulum to swing our way.
Yeah, I mean, these kids play their tails off all year, and, you know, had a couple games where, you know, had a few hiccups, things didn't quite go our way. You know, when you're playing a tough region, when you're playing tough teams week in and week out, it doesn't take anything major to cause a swing in that game. You know, one mistake, one small hiccup there just swings that pendulum one way or the other. So, you know, I think it's going to be great. We're definitely going to be a battle-tested team, play some really tough opponents, had some close games, won some close games, lost some close games. So I think our kids are mentally prepared, you know, moving forward, going to these playoffs for whatever creeks that throws at us.
Yeah, you know, I think back to this season, what I like to see was the team never gave up. I mean, you look at Stars Mill, for example, that game, and I said at halftime, you know, Stars Mill seemed like they had 800 yards, but it was a 7-0 game. You know, that the cliche, the bend but don't break defense, and you ain't trying to be that way, but it seemed like they had yards and had the ball the whole half, but you're in a 7-point game. And it was, you know, the team never gave up no matter how going to Central Carroll seemed like, okay, they're Central Carroll, they're about to blow it open. And here we are taking the lead, then having a chance to take the lead, with 2 minutes to go in the game. It's just incredible. They never quit, and it's just how a Tommy Watson coach team is. Aggressive, physical, and never gives up.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's just that that toughness mentality in this group, that you instill in them. It's like, hey, man, no matter how hard you get hit and get knocked down, you just got to just keep getting up and just keep plugging, just 3 yards, one step, one hit at a time, and just play with all you got, leave it on the field, and see what the scoreboard happens at the end of the game.
It's fun because that's the first thing you mentioned about Coach Moore with his wrestling program. Coach Watson with his football program is the same. You're trying to, assert dominance, but you want to be aggressive, you want to be physical, and I think it just goes with that HC. It's just, it's a big county, but we have one high school.
Yep.
All these, you're black and gold from the time you're in kindergarten up, and it's just kind of instilled in you that work ethic of if you want to do athletics for the county, you're going to have to bust your tail.
Absolutely. I know all the coaches at the high school, man, they're, you see around, it's toughness, that's what you hear. It's like, we got to get our kids to be tough, that's part of it. If you're not the most athletic or the most gifted, you can be the toughest.
Yeah.
And sometimes when times get hard, most athletic kid don't always win. It comes down to that toughness.
Yeah, they never give up.
Yeah, it's a couple of verses here. He was down 12-1. Now he's on top. 5 seconds left, and he's still trying to fight for a pin with a chance to win.
He gave himself a chance, rolling that reversal. If he could have got some leverage to flip him over, he could have had a pin. I mean, it's incredible to see. And, my favorite thing, I go back to Coach Watson program. When I talked to Rand Ogletree before the season, or it was media days, and one of the media members asked, what's your goals this year? What's Rand Ogletree's goal? And Rand didn't miss a beat, just said win state. And, not that long ago, a football player would have never made that comment, would have never dreamed, win state's the goal. And as we saw with softball, with all sports, that's the goal now. We saw flag football a couple years ago, played on GPTV, playing for state. It's attainable for Harris County at every sport over there right now. And you see some years you go through rebuilding. I saw wrestling team preseason, number 6 in the state in that one poll that came out.
Yep.
Just incredible to see, but that's Coach Moore's standard. His standard's not to finish 6, but just being known, being respected by the wrestling community like that.
Yeah, and I do think you're right. I think that's just, that needs to be the standard here at Harris County. Like, if you play, no matter what sport you play, whether you're running cross country, track, basketball, football, baseball, like the standard is we're going to win. We're going to try to win region. We're going to try to win state title. I know there's one thing I know Miss Snyder, when she came in, she's big on athletics, and she loves watching them win.
Yeah. I see Miss Snyder at, saw her at state op, but you see all the events, that she can come to, especially the home events, and she's there supporting them, and, she wants to win. Absolutely. And I don't blame her, and I feel Coach Johnson, MJ, with athletics, just that's what they want. That's what they expect out of their coaches. And I feel like here in the last couple of years, it's really made a big turn from, hey, I'll go back to football. Hey, let's just a 500 season. Used to be pretty good for Harris County. We'll just go 500. And now it's like, no, state championship. Why not?
Yeah.
And then they play, and damn, they're 7-3 and a couple points away from being 9-1. You're like, maybe that is it. You look at it is. And I think, having the middle school, and so many coaches have now got on board with what Coach Moore's been doing for years.
Yeah.
And, he kind of set the standard for the school. If this is how y'all need to do it. And, no coaches really took advantage of it, but now you see baseball doing it, football doing it with same program, same standard from the 7th grade on out the door. It's just incredible to see. And I think that's been the big change that's happened over there on 116.
Yeah, no doubt. And, just with this standard night, say Coach Rowland, give her a shout out. She's at home watching us live. She wasn't feeling well today, but Coach Moore and I talked. I know he's talked with Coach Rowland about this girls program. All of our girls sports here have been so successful.
Oh,
look at softball, volleyball is perennial on top. Yet soccer normally does pretty well. All of our female running sports. You know, was it cross country won region last week?
Probably the best runner, the best female golfer, best runner, state champ softball. Because Lee Allen's the best golfer probably in the state, and that's the Harris County female. Then you got Effie Ward with cross country and track, probably one of the best runners in the state. So the female sports at Harris County's through the roof.
Yeah, so I said with Coach Roland, there's no reason why this wrestling program here, you know, get some girls out, keep growing, that it can't be one of the perennial programs in the state too. Yeah,
no pressure, Coach Roland, but every other female sport's competing for state championships.
Yeah. So. Hey, look, you know, I've seen this quote, and I talked to my boys about it quite a bit this past few weeks throughout the season, but, you know, I'm kind of starting this my motto. If there's without pressure, you know, pressure's a privilege.
Yeah.
You know, so without pressure, what do you have? You know.
Yep. You want to feel it. See where we're.
So here we got Ethan Bresnahan versus Scotty Skumatz. Skumatz is just took down here. He's on bottom.
Now, I know Scotty Skumat's been around for a little bit in the program.
Yeah, and Ethan here a couple years ago for us placed 7th at sectionals, which wasn't a state qualifier, but that would have been like that alternate type. They only took 12, I believe it was, that year.
Now, because I feel like I've seen Skumatz the last few years at this event a lot smaller than.
Oh, yeah. I tell you, man, that kid right there, he loves the weight room. He loves wrestling. He's grown. He's going to be a really good wrestler here, as he grows up.
As you see.
Of course, but
taking some chances here, both of them.
Yeah, some high-level wrestling right there, working legs and working different stuff.
And, for Skumatz you get as a freshman going against an 11th grader that's had that much success at the high school level, that just, for Skumatz, is adding so much to him that he don't realize how much better it's making him. Because I know since y'all got him out here today, they go with each other at practice some because they're, you're going to be close to the same weight. So it makes him so much better in the long run. And for Ethan, it makes him better because he's, every time they match, he's making Scott better.
Yeah, the old saying, iron sharpens iron. So
absolutely.
I think, that's always been kind of philosophy in here. You have your good guys wrestling. You're going to be in our room. You're going to wrestle good guys.
Yeah.
So you have to get better. You're either going to get better or you're going to be getting beat a lot.
Yeah.
So
if you don't have nobody to wrestle at practice that's going to make you any better, then when you go to these matches, you just, like you said, you're not going to get many wins.
Yeah, I think some of our wrestle-offs this year for our varsity spots are going to be very intense. We're going to have kids that, are second, third in our lineup and wrestle-offs that could start for a lot of teams around the state, especially down low. We just got a lot of young guys up here and still have some older guys that are down there. So, it's great to have that depth, but it really helps these young guys when they do step in that lineup. They have all that knowledge from their partners in practice. You always want practice to be harder in the matches anyway. So.
Oh yeah, and I used to like being involved in the wrestle off. I went through a season where I didn't have anybody in my weight class, so it was just easy ride. But that year where you're literally wrestling for your life on Tuesday for a Thursday match, it was just the competition through the roof, and I felt you get your best. You find your better self doing that, pushing yourself, every day to get better, to get out there on the mat.
Yeah.
Now, this has been a good 3-point match should be a full 3 periods.
Yeah, these are two good high school wrestlers right here. They're going to win good many matches this season for us. And early on this year too, like you ain't really sure what weight kids are going to wrestle. Things kind of start shaking out. Getting closer towards December. Just seeing where everybody's at once they get in this room. Once wrestling starts, you're going to lose some weight, whether you're trying or not, because of how intense and how hard practice is. So
every practice is like, just what you're doing. You're, even if you're doing a match or you're doing just, drill after drill after drill. It gets you don't realize how much better making your muscles, getting used to doing those, your muscle memory.
They're trying to hang on here.
So got
finish this match out.
And Ethan gets the win. A good match.
Yeah, that's a great match there by those two young men.
As they both tried to put on a show, and they did. Sam Sprout and Jeff Alford. Two high schoolers going at it right here.
Yeah, so Alford's a kid who's definitely grown since last year. That's one of the things you see in the young guys. I mean, he was wrestling, I believe it was 106 last year. And as you can tell, looking at him, he's not a 106 this year. So, and it's all muscle weight. So, killing it in that weight room.
So, who's going to be the green and red on this one?
So, you got Alford there in the green and Sprout in the red.
All right. We see that aggression coming right out. So
yep.
It's, like you said, taught that way. Uh-oh.
Trying to get to a cradle there.
Kind of lost control of it. Yeah. I mean, if you know, these guys being experienced wrestlers, you know when you're in a bad position, so you're trying to get out of it quick.
Yeah, you know, and we try to tell our guys, so you teach them one move, and they might say, well, it didn't work. It's like, well, yeah, every move that I teach you, I can also teach the other person how to defend that move. So, you know, it's that chess match in wrestling where you do one thing and you have to kind of know what the defense is so that when they defend it, you got to transition right to your next move. And that's what these, you know, higher level kids do.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking earlier when you're on their back. Like we see right here, you're trying to think of a plan, but you want to give yourself that chance. If you try it and they counter it, you want to get back. Okay, now let me think of something else to do. But if you sit there too long thinking you're going to get hit with a stalling, so
yep.
You got to be moving.
Yeah, you want to be able to think while also not giving your opponent the time to think.
Yeah.
So good job there. Again,
good job.
Reversal, hard fall reversal there.
See these kids helping out, coaching, and
there's a Granby there to get out.
These two kids going at it, trying to. Now they get out.
Yep. Well, they didn't. They told him he was out, but they didn't blow the whistle, so the clock stayed rolling.
Yeah. I think he just assumed everybody knew.
Yep.
But I tell you, don't assume.
Absolutely not. I mean, man, I've seen kids stand up, think they're out, and the ref ain't blew a whistle, and they get shot on, taken down with the toes tapped to lose a match. Last second.
We'll go back to that Crowell match early in this. Every time he stopped, if the official or a coach would say something, he'd stop. You got that, your opponent paying attention, you could shoot in on you.
And, you know, that's if you're around and watch, especially get us some JV tournaments, that's not as uncommon as you might think. You know, some of these kids, they have no idea what they're doing, you know, and it's great that the kids trust their coaches, but it's like, you know, you ask them, sometimes you're like, all right, you got to know when you can or can't say something to a kid.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's all right, I cannot talk to this kid while he's in this position because he's going to look at me and get taken down. So I got to wait, either got to wait till this period's over, I got to talk to him while he's on top or, you know, something like that.
Yeah, because just like the kids are learning what to do, y'all are learning the kids.
Yep.
And, you know, some kids can't take being yelled at while they're in the middle of doing stuff.
And some kids, you know, which is crazy, but it's awesome. You know, they're like robots, you know. They can hear you say code words to them, and boom, they hit one thing after another, just like you say to them. And it's, as a coach, that's awesome because, you know, they're listening to you. But then again, it's like, you really got to be zoned in, too, because, you know, all right, when this guy gets out on this mat, I got to be his eyes and ears for him to make sure he's hitting all his steps.
Yeah, because a lot of, you know, especially the experienced wrestlers, they don't even look at the coach. They hear the coach. You can see they're doing what you're asking them to do, but they don't acknowledge you. They don't look at you. They just, you know, got their opponent in their eyesight, and that's where they're locked in. And that just comes with experience and trust that what's going on. But some kids feel like they got to look at the coach. They got to lock eyes with coach.
Had a little clock malfunction there with our heavyweight from last year, Wesley Sappington. So
Sappington had been around. I remember doing football games. He was like a freshman. Talk about watching kids grow up.
Absolutely. Now, I think he's got 1 or 2 receptions on the on the year, so he thinks he's a receiver now. He's done a great job for us. He's done, like all these kids, man. We're wrestling these Harris County kids, like they want to be loved on, be coached on, and you build that culture right, like Coach Moore and like Coach Watson's doing. The kids want to do right, and the kids want to win, so they'll do what you ask them to do.
And then other kids want to come be a part of it. They want to be a part of what's going on. He's trying to flip him over. Here you go, down by 10, but you give yourself a chance again.
Oh.
Now you
hit him with the Peterson there.
Tried a little too hard to try to make up for them points and got caught.
And sometimes when you're down like this, you tell the kids, hey, if the match or the team section's not on the line, you're not trying to get them to save 2 or 3 points.
Yeah.
And when you're down 10, go for the home run.
Yeah.
What do you have to lose? Like whether or not you get pinned or beat by 2.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. So
go for it.
You kind of get that code word. We try to wrestle methodically with all our guys, but at some point you tell them, hey, go for it. Go big. Tell them to go big, and that's when they get ready to go. So now Coach Moore's about to announce some of our wrestlers that aren't wrestling tonight.
So I went through the names, but you can kind of tell tell everybody who's who.
Yeah, so we don't have everyone out here. So we'll have some more kids that are still coming out to play football, hopefully. But you got Matt. He was 48-2 last year. Placed 5th at state region champ. Did a great job. I mean, he has grown so much. You just look at him like he's going to line the match in Harris County. So great kid, man. That kid's grown so much. He's awesome being around him. Yet Davis Brooks won 43 matches last year. So which is awesome. I know the season didn't end quite the way he wanted it to, but really good wrestler. He had Easton Bourne, obviously won 51 matches last year, state runner-up. He got caught, the guy he wrestled. They wrestle multiple times. That goes back and forth. But he
was just a freshman.
Just a freshman.
He was a freshman.
Short, so
going for a state championship.
He's coming off an injury from the summer, but he's doing. I just talked to him earlier today, and he is ahead of schedule on recovery, and he's ready to get back to do it. Liam Colley, man, he came out last year and didn't know much about wrestling, but man, he turned into a kind of firecracker for us. We beat Cambridge in state duels to have a chance to wrestle for. We ended up wrestling Jefferson after that, but we put him in against Cambridge. He got a victory, and man, he was so pumped up. Had the whole bench standing up for him. We talked about Matt Lovell earlier. He's a really good wrestler, young kid. Sky's the limit for him, man. That kid can be as good as he wants to be. So
we already got a potential pin in this one.
Yeah, quick cradle here.
So, he's trying to flip him, get him back on his back.
That's Chase Rust here. Wrestling Seth Huey.
So Chase had, 30 wins last year?
Yeah, good for us. Had an extremely tough section last year, didn't make it out. But you got a kid, Seth Huey, that kind of new here for us here. So it shows just great having depth, man.
Yeah.
Having a junior coming here that can wrestle is awesome.
Trying to get him. You mentioned the iron sharpens iron, and that it's cliche so much in sports because it's true, and how much it makes you better going against better competition at practice. And like you said, you want practices to be hard. You want this to be the hardest thing you go through. So to get in a match, it ain't that bad. You've been through it. You got it. and it gives you more confidence, especially as these kids get into a match. Well, holy crap! I've been, the guy go gets at practice every day is a lot tougher than this. So he's trying to hold on.
Yeah, and, you talked about the new rule changes early. You look at the score right now, it's 7-0. It's like, man, kids really getting worked here. But, all it is one takedown. It's one takedown to the back points. It's 7 points. Just like that. So, you got to be ready to go because, 15-0 is a tech. So you get a takedown and 4 backs twice.
Yeah.
1 point from a tech.
He's going to take.
This sort of chase really good for us last year on top here. He was really tough last year as a freshman. He pinned some guys, some really big matches, especially when we were down in Fort Walton Beach for our tournament we go to every winter. Did a really good job down there. He'd get on top of those kids and throw that half in and put them right on their back.
He's got them long legs. He can kind of kick out, create leverage when you get like that.
Yeah. So this is they're getting that hand fight and trying to be methodical what they're doing here. They're talking about the long legs, trying to get the legs in there.
He's working. Looks like Coach Moore switches to 2-1-1 on the time each quarter or each period.
I guess swapped over these high school kids. They got to rest. They're going to be wrestling Saturday, so tough week. So, get this in form and get them ready for Saturday.
Yeah, like we said, we've seen them before have the trash can out here, so good job this year so far. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
We haven't had to. Because shame goes out the window when you get done with these matches. You don't care how many people's watching. You just
absolutely. You got to do what the body tells you got to do.
Yeah. So we see locking hands. We see a lot of these officials are the same ones that come up here year in, year out. Then we always get a sprinkle in a couple new ones, getting their preseason work in these exhibition matches.
Yeah, it's always great. Same with preseason football or any sport. Like could Coach Moore, myself, and Coach Roland, and other coaches. Could we be out here officiating these? Absolutely, but it's different when you have that guy with that striped shirt on and the whistle with the GHSA logo. It's like, okay, it makes it a lot more realistic for him. It's not practice.
Right.
It's a match. So Chase trying to get a reversal there. Got a whizzer in.
Yep. We got 8 seconds left.
Yeah, and especially this 2-on-1, you get that first period on your feet, you get 7 points start off, and your top bottom, it's hard to come back.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of points down there unless you get a tilt.
KJ Bell. So Cameron Akins and I thought he said KJ Bell was about to go.
So you got KJ Bell coming up here. Kind of a new addition here. So
snuck
we
on.
had, school, winter, starting to get cold, weather change, having kids get sick or miss practice, for whatever reason. It's high school. Our kids do a really good job of not missing practice and good with communication, letting us know, because what the standard is. The standard is to be here. Be here whether you're sick or not, and then make a decision. If your family, if you're too sick, then you go home and take care of things. But wrestling sport, you got to push through things. If it's not serious.
Absolutely.
So.
He's looking. I always tell them, like flag football, your best ability is usually availability. You got to be around.
Absolutely.
So.
Anytime it gets late in the season, especially get late in the season, that's why it's so important to get your young guys ready, man.
Yeah.
You never know when your numbers get called or Yeah, when you got to make a bump in a wrestling match.
Liam Colley last year.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever dreamed he'd be in that position against Cambridge at the end of the year.
Wrestling at the state dual tournament.
But bust your butt all year with JV and doing what you're asked, then you're throwing it through the fire, and the moment's not too big.
Yeah.
Plus that Colley's something that he's, all the sports it seems like. And then, of course, his sister, phenomenal flag football, phenomenal basketball, Raider games with JROTC.
Yep.
But then his younger brother over the basketball and football over at the middle school, Xander.
Yeah.
Great athlete. So Colley family coming through it. So it's really not a surprise to anybody else, but he does come through like that.
Absolutely.
We see two young guys because their eyes are all over the place when people are yelling. Just keeps looking for. Yeah. Hang on, we're going to keep the action going. We're going to take a break broadcasting right here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And we're back, and now we're going to have the tag out. We got West Wingard jumped out. Now we got Coach Alex Moore, head coach over this amazing wrestling powerhouse that he's built up here in Harris County. So, Coach, you do this black and gold last few years, and I was telling Wingard how, it's great having it just one mat, how it's set up this year, and I think this kind of gets these kids ready to go.
It does, man. We started this a long time ago doing the black and gold, and you see a lot of, beginning wrestlers out here, a lot of beginning wrestling moves, and so it gets them an opportunity to show what they can do and what not to do on the wrestling mat before they actually have to go into like real competition. We got a lot of new faces this year, a lot of returning faces, so it gives them all, the new guys, a chance to knock off some rust, and those guys that are new to us to learn what locking hands is. So, it's a fun time.
Yeah, I mean, you see that, even the locking hands, you see it a lot tonight, which you expect to see. And these officials, they're getting their early season work in.
Yeah, got some new officials to our organization this year. Coming in and getting some training with our head official, Mr. Blake Bourne.
Yeah.
He does a great job here in Columbus, running all the tournaments and everything from us all the way to Troop to Columbus area. So we've got some new faces in the referee field this year too.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Wes mentioned he wrestled with Blake or against Blake and stuff. They wrestled around the same time frame. Me and Jonathan wrestled at Jordan together. We're Coach Scott. Off that tree. Which he's been over there, for years over at Jordan, and
yeah, we'll be heading to Jordan next Saturday with our girls for the Iron Maiden. We've been doing
nice.
that every year since they started it. It used to be on. That's how girls wrestling's changed. They used to be able to do it on Friday night. Used to have like 4 girls per bracket.
Yeah.
Now we got to do it on Saturday, and we ain't out of there till like 4 or 5.
Man.
Full 16-girl brackets. It's a big tournament.
That's awesome.
How much it's grown over the last few years, and Coach Scott's done a big part of that in this area. We've got a lot of good girls over there. Does a great job with them.
And your girls' program has grown so much over the last, just recently. You just take 3-4 years how much you had to get Coach Roland involved because just how fast it was growing and how much you had.
Yeah, we're trying to still, a little bit different than our boys. We still let our girls out even now. We're trying to build it up and get more, new faces out. And so, they go and tell their friends, hey, I'm just trying this new sport name, called wrestling. You should come out and try it with me. So we're even trying to build our girls program now. Like we're letting them come out.
Yeah.
We got some new girls coming up. Lulu Lamb just came out this week. She'll be on the mat later versus Lucy. So we got a good little group that we got. We got Aston Lowell coming back, 2-time state placer. We got injured last year at sectional. We're hoping she could have won it last year, but injuries happen. And then a good little base. We're looking for good things out of those girls.
Yeah, it's fun to see, and the early on tonight, just seeing the 7th graders going at it, 7th, 8th graders, but especially the 7th graders who haven't been in this environment and, just what they're getting into, coming up in their future. We talked about Scotty. Just remember seeing him up here for years. It seems like forever seeing him just as a little kid. Now he's out there, he's, ripped up. He's grown a foot, it seems like.
Yeah, he did. That was a great match right there. Ethan Bresnahan, placed 7th at sectionals as a freshman. He didn't wrestle last year, but he's back with us this year. Trying to get all that rust off from not being able to wrestle last year. Scotty, we have a lot of depth from 120 to 132. We got a lot of good kids in there.
Yeah.
And that was just a good little match between two of our better kids. They get after it. They're going to challenge each other all year long for that starting spot. Might be some movement in weight between 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah.
But it should be a good challenge.
And, like I told Scott, you ain't going to wrestle nobody like that during the season for you.
No, and Ethan's slick. Ethan's slick, always has been slick. So, he's good with the legs. He his short offense is really good. Didn't see much out of him with his short offense. They have slide-bys and ducks. He's pretty clean with those too. But I guess Scotty did a good job staying balanced and not pressuring in, not giving it to him. But that was a good one to watch. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, then you go to the other spectrum, some of these kids that ain't used to wrestling in general, just, I remember the Crowell match, I even talked to Wes about when anytime a coach or official talked to him, he wanted to stop what he was doing, let go and turn.
Yeah.
And look.
Yeah.
But he's never been involved.
Never been involved, no. We even got like Jamie Lewis right there wrestling. Jamie Lewis still practicing football. He's still out of the football team, and he wanted to come out and try to knock some rust off as well. He's been practicing 1 or 2 days with us while our football team's been off the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And then that's about his 3rd day on the mat. He's looking for the start for us at 106 this year. And then Carter Sito, dad coaches for us. Very, very going to be a very good 8th grader for us. this year, and you're looking for trying to break that starting lineup as a freshman next year.
We're getting ready for another match here. Try to see where we're at on.
Yeah, so this is Jacob Tandy, senior, first-year wrestler, and Logan Reinersman. Tandy started with us this summer, wrestled a full off season with us. I wish he would have started about 4 years ago, but he's going to be, we're trying to get him as good as soon as possible. Reinersman's only a sophomore, growing into his body. His body's changed so much over the last few years. He's looking good. He's growing up, getting physical. So these two wrestled each other in a tournament not too long ago. So we're like, hey, let's run it back and see what happens.
That's one thing when you have them, like for this program that Harris County is fortunate enough to have the middle school feeder program, is that's where the body, you see a lot of body change. So you might have a kid you get as a chubby 7th grader, their freshman year, sophomore year, now they got, they done bulked up. They discovered how much they like lifting weights.
Yeah, I don't like to cut. We have this nice, beautiful gym, the STC that we're in.
Yeah.
We roll out a ton of mats. We got a ton of space. You can't cut kids because you never know in wrestling what they're going to turn into.
Yeah.
So we try to keep them all out. And I've had some really good wrestlers that started off doing being nothing.
Yeah.
Being like, I don't think this kid's got it. Then something clicks 8th grade, 9th grade year, and it, ends up being a 3-time state placer. So, it's all about work ethic. It's not about how good of an athlete you are in wrestling, not how big you are, not how strong you are, just how hard you want to work.
And, these kids that just absolutely fall in love with the sport.
Yeah.
And when you fall in love with the wrestling, it's not just the mat time. You fall in love with the practice. You fall in love with doing the drills. The cutting weight part, it just becomes part of you.
It's a lifestyle. We got good camaraderie on our team too. We all cheer for each other. When you start seeing us in duels and we start rolling into our duel season, it gets a lot of fun because our kids pick each other up and have a really good time with one another. And we go to a lot of overnight trips, spend night in hotels, and spend more time together than any other team. So. And then you come in here and bleed, sweat, and cry together. It's a special group.
Yeah, and that it makes it so much more special for your teammates when you do go through all that with them. You want to be successful, not just for the team, but you genuinely care about them and wanting them to do well.
Oh, absolutely. We try to tell them all the time. When you're wrestling, it's not just you out there; it's you and your partner.
Yeah.
Because your partner, pushes you through the tough times and tries to push you to get you better. So, it's I don't know. I tell a story all the time about that. I don't know. Good call talk about Logan there. I don't know who is happier for his state championship when Owen Decker won his state championship, or was his partner Davin Lundquist. I tell you that Davin, man, he was so he was the most excited person in that entire Macon Coliseum, man. He was so pumped. But they had been grinding together all year. They had worked so hard together, and they beat each other to death in here, and that was some of Davin's state championship too, right there.
Yeah.
Getting Owen to that spot.
Yeah, he felt it. I mean, you just, like you said, you go through all that work, and he knew what he was doing at practice, what the payoff for both would be.
Yep.
Especially for Owen was, hey, this guy's got a shot at it. I mean, not too many guys that go to state and have a chance just showed up at state. You knew during the season, hey, we got a chance to do something special here.
Yep.
Looking to see what he wants to do.
Yeah. Let's see what he does. They're either going to try to work on something or they're going to try to win. It's going to be one of the two. For our older kids, we're sitting some of my better ones out today. For some of these kids, it's not just about winning the match. It's not really a wrestle off. It's about seeing where we're deficient in areas and getting film. Got a couple girls over there filming for us, running our mat boss, keeping score. And, we'll kind of see where we're at as a whole group to kind of get better tomorrow. We'll be back in here tomorrow getting ready for Troop on Saturday. So, we're going to try to put them in some tough situations with these older groups, get them in some places they're not great at, get them moving, try to get better.
Yeah, it's crazy. Y'all, the Troop tournament coming up so quick. It's the football having such a long lull the last couple of weeks. And then it's like wrestling season's already jumped up on everybody.
Yeah, so football, it took the week because of the hurricane.
Yeah.
And so it backed everybody up, and then we already had an off week, so of course we get 2 off weeks, which is tough. But wrestling kind of moved up. We kind of convinced the GHSA because of soccer and a few other things moving back into us to give us a week earlier as a competition, the way the calendar fell this year.
Yeah.
So, we got the troop tournament this week in McIntosh. Next week, including our girls, will go at Jordan next week. It's here. These first few tournaments, we're not worried about. I try to tell the kids, we're not trying to lose weight. We're not trying to cut. We're not trying to get to a certain weight class. We're just trying to wrestle. I don't care where they go these first couple of weeks. A troop, we got 6 of the top 15 teams in the entire state for their classification is going to be there. So you're going to see some good teams early. And so we're going to see what we got. Same deal, getting some film on our guys. We see our region opponent, Central Carroll, on Saturday. So get some film on our guys and see what we can get better at when we need to see them when it matters here in January.
Yeah, when it really gets going. I mean, I always consider when the king of the county, queen of the county come around is getting go time. It's getting
yeah, it is. We take our go time. What we've kind of done the last few years is we've taken a trip to Fort Walton Beach the last 2 or 3 years to their Beast of the Beach duels. And at the end of that, we kind of give them off from all of Christmas. We give them off 24th to the 2nd. We started that a couple years ago. It's been great. But coming out of that Beast of the Beach where you get like 10 duels in 2 days, you pretty much know what your lineup's going to be and where you got to put kids heading into region duels.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that Beast of the Beach is really our kind of, all right, we're here. Get all of our football players in the room for a little bit, by that time. Pretty much solidified our whole roster at that time. So just trying to put those pieces together down there in Florida and then come back and get ready for region duels and city and region and state duels and those type of things. I think last year at the Beast of the Beach, we saw some people, it really click. It really clicked with, throwing his thought I didn't have to wear it. You're in high school, big dog. You got to wear it. Matt Love last year wrestled fantastic at the beach. Jackson Barnett really turned it on at the beach last year. Tyler McGuire really had a good beach tournament. Easton Bourne got beat down there at Beast of the Beach. So, you learn more from a loss than you do a win in wrestling. So getting him beat down there was great for us because it showed him, what he needed to work on and all those things he could do to come, make his run for second. So, that Beast of the Beach really propelled us into just another level last year. Get 5th in state, we didn't think we would get 5th in state in duels last year. We really didn't. But man, we got hot at the right time. Weights fell into spots, and we wrestled extremely tough that tournament.
Yeah, we're getting hot at the right time, but it's planning going down to Fort Walton, going to the Beast at the Beach, and stuff like that. Because the kids are figuring wrestling out, but you're still figuring your team out, even that, getting that part of the season.
Absolutely,
and
kids.
It hits quick. You got city duels, and now with state and with duel, the traditional, and then the duel. It's every weekend you're going.
Yep, every weekend.
You're fighting for a championship. It seems like
we're blessed this year. We got some good quality depth with our lightweights. So we're going to try to do some load management with those lightweights this year. We got some. You've seen tonight. We got some good kids.
Hell yeah.
In our lightweight, so we're going to try to make sure they don't go every weekend. We're going to try to make sure we're mixing in some mat time for those JV guys. Especially right here, you got Todd McGuire, who's been a 4-year starter for us, and then Ben Campo behind him, as his backup. Ben can wrestle. Tyler's tough, but Ben's going to try to get some varsity reps this year too. Tyler's trying to become a state placer this year. He had a great offseason. It was 9-2 at Chattanooga this summer, University of Tennessee Chattanooga. Won his all-star match. He had a great summer. Lifts weights like crazy. Has Coach Holbrook in weight training class, so they get after it in there. It's a good looking forward to his senior year.
Yeah, it's fun to see these kids grow. And some of them don't get a chance to go varsity till later on in their high school career.
Easy down.
Boy. That's something else you learn from wrestling, discipline. Not just losing weight, but right there you have a guy up. It's so easy just to pull him down, but to have control, doing things the right way.
Yeah.
So many life lessons you learn with this sport.
Yeah, we got Caden Shatt here on top, who's a senior. for us. Been wrestling for me since he was a 7th grader. Then Nick Barrentine there didn't finish the year out last year. He's back with us this year. Same thing happened in the last match here. Nick is a good, Barrentine's a good wrestler for us. He's going to be.
Yeah.
Kaden, just senior, has a lot of experience. Wrestled well this offseason. He's in that same weight training group. You'll kind of see the muscle that we put on this offseason. We're looking for him to solidify that 150 spot for us. He's going to be a big 150. And then Nick's going to be at 150 or 44 for us. So 2 good kids here.
As we surprisingly, almost 30 matches in, just our second injury,
I know.
blood time, pretty incredible.
Yeah. We got to be more physical.
Yeah.
We do. I just watching it, I think that's one thing we're getting from tonight. And it's tough wrestling your teammate.
Yeah.
2 of my most physical guys are sitting over there, Matt Van Wettering and Davis Brooks. Those I couldn't let them wrestle tonight. They've had enough mat time. They'll go out there and try to kill each other. So they're sitting tonight, getting ready for Saturday. But we got to be. I already tell you, we got to be a little bit more in your face, a little more physical. We're going to talk about that after this, and then work on it in mark practice. So.
Yeah, and that's what Coach Wingard even talked about. That was, just Harris County wanting to be aggressive, wanting to be in your face, and the toughness that comes from it. And younger kids don't realize when you're even with your teammate that you mentioned the older kids, Van Wettering and them. They know it's literally dog eat dog. How bad do you want it? And if you want to win state, you got to get pushed.
Yeah, and
that's part of it.
The best kids we've had, man, they get in there and they push it at practice. They'll be best friends off the mat, but they will beat the crap out of each other during practice. They'll just get after it, and and that's how you push your partner. That's how you make each other good. Not sit there and taking it easy and walking through moves. Just getting in there and beating on each other and making each other tough and knowing positions and knowing how to get out of positions. So, we got to do a little bit more of that.
Yeah, I mean.
I got to get my football, football players, of course, we want them to go on a deep run for sure. But, having Liam and when Liam and Wes get back, that brings a little more physicality to our room as well. They'll get after it, be able to wrestle with Matt and Davis, Kaden, make us all tougher. Yeah,
well, you go through this stuff with your teammates, but, you get hit in your first match with a crossface or something, it's either going to startle you, or if you've been through it before at practice, it don't bother you at all. You've been popped in the mouth, you've been hit, slammed down, so you kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
With knowing how to react to it.
It doesn't fluster you. You keep saying, all right, I'm going to give it right back to you. Again, Davis is one of the best of that. Davis take a mean collar tie and give it right back to you. So. But again, you're not going to get to see him and Matt go tonight. They're both trying to chase the state title this year. So, trying to keep them healthy as best as possible. Here we got 2 of our starters from last year. Jackson's up from 113 to 132. He's also one of those football guys, been practicing football a lot. And then Aiden Bird, senior for us, up at 144 this Saturday. He'll eventually settle into the 138 position probably. But again, 2 starters for us last year, big into our dual run. Both had awesome summers. I think there's probably 1 missed day, 2 missed days all summer between the 2 of them.
Hey.
I'm in the weight room. So, Jackson's very wiry. He can get out of some tough positions. He's tough on top. Aiden's also tough on top, so it's kind of an odd matchup for both of them.
Yeah, you got long legs, and you get your leverage and stuff from that.
Yeah, Jackson was that tall wrestling 113 last year about. He's only grown up. He's only gotten a couple inches taller maybe.
You see they're trying to figure out, and you do know your opponent so well doing this. Knowing, what their favorite move and go-to move may be.
Bird and Jackson don't really drill much together. Bird kind of hangs around Tyler and been wrestling Ethan Bresnahan a lot because Ethan's, he's done a good job with that because Aiden knows that his feet aren't great. And you saw Ethan's all over the place. So, if he's going to get his feet quicker, find the quickest one in the room, and Ethan's one of them. So they've done good working together.
Good move. Good, smart move to do that.
No.
So we're trying to get. He's trying to plot what to do next up here.
Yeah, Bird in the past has been a pretty good leg rider. We've been working some wing stuff last few weeks. We'll see if he tries to work in some of that. We're going to try to stack him here at the top of that wing.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Now, how cool is, you as a coach, when y'all go over something at practice, then you watch them learn the move, then put it into use on the mat?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I'll be honest. I love watching them, do stuff I taught them. I also love watching them do stuff I didn't teach them. They try to learn themselves, or they really try to perfect. They perfect it. They get it from me or at Icon or another camp or something. I'm like, oh, I like that. And then, but no, it's great seeing the progression. A few years ago we got really big in riding legs. There you go. As soon as I say it, really big in riding legs. We're in crossbody there. But with the new rules, the legs don't really, help you a ton. But man, when we ride legs pretty right here, it makes me happy. Makes my heart happy. Because we work it so hard in the off season and during the summers, and we start them doing it as soon as we get our hands on them. Once they can do a 2-on-1 tilt or a half, we try to get them to put them legs in and ride around a little bit, because you need to ride out in tough matches.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Later in the season it gets, you're going to go obviously better competition.
Yep.
Going to them later tournaments, like he's after Beast at the Beach, when you really crank it up a little bit around here. And then that's what we mentioned. I mean, you go from cities to, regions, stuff like that, back to back every weekend. You got to be tough.
It's a grind for sure. We're very busy in January, between also doing the girls too. It's just, on the coaching staff, we're thankful we have so many of us that we can kind of split up some of the work and do whatever, because we got JV going just like next Saturday. Next Saturday we got 2 teams in McIntosh, and the girls are going to Jordan. 2 JV and Varsity are going to McIntosh. And then the following week we got girls at JV and middle school at Smith Station. So we'll have about 45 kids at Smith Station next 2 Saturdays from now. So, it got a lot of kids to try to get better.
You ever dream when you took your job here that you'd be able to have one set of team going to Jordan, one set of team going to like McIntosh?
We with the size school that we have, we knew that it was. I mean, I knew we had great support. I knew our parents were going to be great. I said my wife is from Harris County. My 2 brother-in-laws wrestled here. They were good right before I got here, and then they had a coaching change and couldn't find a coach, and it kind of took a dip. But man, that first year we hit the ground running. That first year we had 6 pretty good kids, and then we had about 40-ish total on the team. We went from 6 to 40 that very first year, and then just going from there. That second year we weren't very good. My second year here, we knew we weren't, but I knew also there was 2 kids named Grant Monroe and Tucker Kinsall that were in the 7th grade that we had, and a bunch of other really good 7th graders that joined them. And so me and Coach Johnson used to sit there and say 2 years, just let's get them better for 2 years. And it ended up coming a year early. It ended up being the next year we were pretty good. And then when Tucker and Grant and David Imfinger and all those guys became freshmen, it was on. So we had some really good battles with that group. So, but no, we just been kind of, that's the. I say this too, it goes back to, football, not necessarily our football team, but all football or anything. People are real quick to change coaches. They're real quick to change it up and try something else. But I think the consistency that we've had here, year in and year out, and building our youth program and like our 7th graders. I mean, I've had Aiden. Aiden came out as younger, but let's like Jackson Barnett. I've had Jackson since he was a 7th grader. His senior year, he's going to know the routine. He's going to know what we're going to do. We're going to train during the summer. We're going to work hard. That consistency, I think, just pays massive dividends in the end.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody knowing what's going on, knowing what's expected of them. It's a great thing.
Yeah, I mean, you set the standard early with these kids. They know what the standard is when they come out here, wear the HC on their chest, and just what that means in itself. But just knowing what you expect out of them, your coaches will expect out of them.
Yeah, we try to ease them into it as middle schoolers.
Yeah.
We really try to ease them into what's expected of them, and get them to learn how to wrestle or learn how to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
And learn how to learn how to drill, learn how to do those things. Don't really, as they get older, we crank it up on them. We try to make them love wrestling first, then we'll start getting them in shape and getting them ready to compete at a high level. Now we just got to get we got a real solid group of 8th graders. A lot of them are with me or in our youth program. We got 25 of them on the roster. Great weight distribution. So we got to take the next step with them next year or this year, because next year they're going to be in the fire. We lose some good seniors this year, and they're going to have to come. Some of them have to come in as freshmen and try to compete for a starting spot or compete at a high level. State duels. It's illegal.
Yeah, lock their hands.
Yeah, locked hand, no arm.
Now, speaking of the...
Need Blake Bourne to hustle and get in better position there. hope his officials that are here aren't taking notes. No, I'm just kidding. Blake does a great job in our area. He really's gotten that. He took that association up from Paul Kite, the legend, and he's been running it for a few years now. It's really, last year they had a great year of officiating. A lot of guys get to go to state and do state duels and those things.
For him, that's like you having wrestlers make it when his officials get to make
absolutely. It's no different. I mean, he's the head of that association. It's his job to get all the officials ready to go and ref at a high level. So, it makes our area look good when we have 5-6 officials wrestling at the state tournament.
Yeah, and each year y'all have this event. He's up here teaching new ones.
Yep.
Just constantly going.
It's great for them too. I mean, they love coming up here and doing this because it's low stress. No one's going to be yelling at them or anything like that. It's going to be.
Everybody loves coming to the county.
Do I?
Everybody loves coming to the county.
Oh yeah, man, you can't beat it. We got a great gym right here. I mean, this is great coming in here. I mean, there ain't many other schools in the state that have this setup that we do. Where we just we want to host a dual meet, we'll host it. We don't host nothing else in here. It's just a great. I mean, Tucker a second ago said, "Man, this really is a nice gym for these." And it's perfect size. Got the concession stand. Trying to upgrade. We got a couple banners. Got our doors redone this year. Brand new state placer boards outside with all of our state placers throughout history. It's outside by the concession stand.
Yeah.
We're trying to really upgrade this place and make it nice and make it our home and make it a place that kids want to be.
Well, think about when you go to, say, a dual match at somebody's gym, you got the whole big old gym at the high school with just one mat in the middle of it. It don't have that same feel as you have it here. It feels, this place can get loud.
Yeah, especially when you get 2 mats in here and you got 3. You got middle school going down there and you got 3 good teams going down here.
It can get loud, and there's nothing that fires you up as a wrestler.
Yeah, that we have a troop is great here with the little kids going and the middle school going. That was great. Last year's place was packed. I mean, it was slammed, wall-to-wall people with us and troop. I think it was a basketball game in here.
Yeah.
It was, people. But we're trying to get our community to be a wrestling community. We're trying to get them, get people to learn wrestling. Try to get some second-generation wrestlers in here. So, trying to keep building it.
Now, how's the youth program? How did that go this year?
It's going good. So we got last year Chris Williams took it over. He's also our treasurer for our. Foucher Club took it over and really said, I've been trying to get somebody to take it over for a long time now since Tucker and Grant's dad came up to the high school. We've had a few coaches come through that did a really good job for us. Time constraints kind of kept them from doing it, taking over. But Chris came in 2 years ago and said, I got this, let's do it, and took it off my plate. He said, you ain't got to worry about it. Just get me the mat space. Let's organize this and do it right, and I'll handle it. And he's done a great job. I don't know what our exact number is right now heading into this year with football and everything's still going on. Soccer just ending, but I think we're up to around 70 youth this year. My 2 boys are in it. Coach Wingard's boys in it. Coach Sito's youngest is in there. So, it's a good group. Good group. Got to get those kids. They're basically restarting that program. It's been kind of quiet last few years, but hoping to have a few state placers this year in USA. So they come up, and then they'll come up with us as 6th graders, 6th or 7th graders in the future. So it makes our job easier at the high school because they know how to wrestle. They know their bodies. We just got to really teach them how to work as high schoolers and work as a very high level You know, 4A is tough. So if they're going to compete in 4A, they got to be ready to go. So, you know, having that youth program is key. And that's what, when you're asking about coming here, I knew we had the youth program. The first people, as soon as I knew I was getting this job, first people I talked to were David Monroe and Nathan Kinsaw. First 2 conversations I had. I remember where I had them on the phone calling them, because I knew that youth program was something we did not have at Washington Wilkes, and we're not going to get at Washington Wilkes.
Yeah.
And then I knew that was a big part coming here. So we got those guys on board, learned what they were doing, how they ran their stuff, and we kind of, you know, we had great years. I mean, multiple top 5 finishes, top 10 finishes. You know, now we got to get back to that. Now we got to get those kids falling in from the youth program that are ready to go. So it's coming. It's coming. We'll have, like I say, some of these young guys here in our youth program. We got some good kids coming up, some good girls coming up in our youth program, which is great. We had 10 at practice the other day. So, you know,
nice.
Really trying to get them going.
Yeah, you look at that youth program and you think how many high schoolers that don't even know what wrestling is till their freshman year.
I know.
They kind of get introduced to it. You got kids that are 7, 8 years old that are.
My son started last year at 4, and he wasn't the only 4-year-old. You can imagine what that looked like on the mat. So, you know, we got them playing some games and some mat games and playing dodgeball and making it fun. And
well, same thing as you mentioned earlier. Make them love wrestling, not the moves and all that, but just, you know, look forward to coming out to the mat.
Yep. We got Lucy here wrestling up a little bit. The girl, Lulu Lamb, is the first-year wrestler I mentioned earlier on top. She's about 15 pounds heavier than Lulu, but or 15 pounds heavier than Lucy. But Lucy wanted to go ahead and try to get another match, and so she's back out there. And 7th grader, so just a little bit smaller right now.
But that makes her better in the long run.
Yep.
You know, she's pushing herself right here.
She is taking some shots. Got to work a little bit better set up there, but she's working. Again, she's only been practicing for 3 weeks. She has a jiu-jitsu background, though, so she knows her body pretty decently. It's just, oh, there we go. Pick it up.
She's
not bad.
She's definitely aggressive.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean,
that was almost pretty slick there. But, yeah, like I said, we're trying to start the same way we do with the boys is my thought. We're trying to build. Me and Coach Roland are both at the middle school, and so we're trying to recruit those girls at the middle school level so that we can get them ready to wrestle at the high school level. So we're trying to take the same thing we kind of do with the boys those first few years and really started down there and get them to grow up into the program.
Yeah, I like the aggression she's shown. I mean, from the opening whistle, and she's just been attacking. She knows she's at a disadvantage.
Yeah, I think Lulu's been practicing. Lulu's been practicing for about 3 days. Lulu 3 weeks. So, but this is another example I was talking about. Lulu, you know, talked to some girls at school that are on our team, and they're like, you need to come try it out. And so here she is, out here trying it out. So we're glad to have her. She'll wrestle around 100 or 105 for us, which is desperately needed to fill our lineup in our program. So glad to have her.
So for the girls, I know it's the newer sport introduced to people. What's the weight? Weight groups.
So they go by 5s. So 100, it starts at 100. So they go by 5s all the way up to 45. Then they go 45 to 55. And then from 55 to 70, then from 70 to 90, and then heavyweight for girls is 235. So 14 weight classes, a little bit different. Girls wrestling stays blown up. I've been lucky enough to kind of be, in those conversations with state duels and helping out run state duels, and hosted that girls sectional last year, which was during the school day where I had 68 teams here, 70 teams here for that sectional during the school day. It's just blowing up around the state. I mean, we're going to classes for duels this year for girls where it used to be one class. Individual still going to be one class, but so we're having to separate classes already just because of the size of these teams. So. One of my good friends got to know is the head girls coach at Carrollton. He's back-to-back state champ. So kind of talking to him about how to recruit girls out, how to get them on their team and doing all that. We're trying to learn from him and kind of build our girls program the way he did.
Yeah, I mean, just in numbers-wise, how much has grown's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
That, from coming up here and you seeing just one match at the scrimmage at the black and gold, and now We're seeing multiple matches, different weight groups, and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's been good. We're gonna see. I think we got another girls' match coming up right after this one, and then I think that'll be our last one. I think after that one's over.
That just, like I said, I mean, even you added the flags off, up on 27.
I know that's a wind guard touch. He told me when we were getting the boards done and everything. He said, "What about them flags, man? We got to put some flags out front." I said, "Yeah, just tell me what you want. We can get them." And he told me what he wanted, and we ordered them. And he put them up this morning, second block. They look real good out there.
They do.
They do. They let you know where, because we have probably people know where we are, because we're not at the high school.
Yeah.
We're at the STC, so when people drive by, they're like, "Oh, what's that?" They know that we wrestle back here now. So.
Well, and when they're coming from town, when they're coming from somewhere, they know, okay, this is where it's at.
Yep.
And y'all do have the best looking logo, the county outline with the wrestler in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cool logo. It's a known logo.
Yeah, it's slick.
But that match day, I was like, look at this when I pulled his. That's a nice little touch. But you're kind of making, it wasn't long ago this was the middle school gym, and now you're kind of making it y'all's home. And
yeah, it's been my home since I got here. I started when I got this job. This is my gym.
Yeah.
So I've been in this gym since 2014 teaching PE. So I was like, well, I might as well stay here. I still have my office. My office is exactly the same. I didn't move out. All my diplomas are still in there. All my plaques and stuff. So. But it's nice that, it's something to be said for, the kids to have a home.
Right.
And have their own place. And, we moved around for so many years. We were at the top of the gym at the school when I first got here. And then we moved to the old Carver High School gym. That was the old dungeon in there. And, it was, just old.
Yeah.
And then we moved, when that wasn't working out, we moved up to the top, this old gym that got demolished. We were up here for a little bit, and then we moved to the new middle school, building this. I was like, I'm getting this gym. Because we were tired of moving mats across town. It was dangerous. We were doing that all the time, and we just had to find another way. And, you ain't got a coach with basketballs bouncing or horns going off. You're just here.
Yeah.
And you can, they have PE in here still, so we have to drag the mats out every day and mop them, which is cool. It takes us about 5 minutes. But this is, when we got good, we moved. We moved to Old Carver High School.
Yeah.
And then we just kept that going over here. We got so many kids, we have to have a gym. We can't have a wrestling room. If I had to have a wrestling room, we'd have to hold 3 different practices throughout the afternoon.
Right.
So, it's great to have everybody in here together. Middle school's on one side, or new wrestlers on one side, older wrestlers on the other, and we get after it.
And that we're having extra coaches and all that comes in handy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Because you can separate it and do all that. So we got, like I said, we're talking about the gym again. We got showers back there that are great. Both sides. We have a boys side and a girls side. We have a middle school side. It's all, top notch here for sure.
I mean, you talk about a mat room where people, think how advantageous a mat room is, but when you have pretty much your own facility here. With
that's
everything.
great. We share with cheerleading. Cheerleading's in here the majority of their season. Then they move when they start going to another location to practice. We move their mats for them over to the high school. So it's a good little relationship. We'll move them back at the end of our season over here so they can crank back up in the spring.
Yeah,
for tryouts and all that. So
I mentioned at the beginning, they've won every competition they've got.
Yeah, they're
this
good.
year.
Me and Chris Gilstrap worked together, and we were going one day at lunch duty. I was going through all their scores in the state, and they got a chance to win it, just like softball did.
Yeah, I think that softball championship was so much. I think a state championship can be won here by
flag too. I'll talk to MJ and a couple others. They're talking about going to that competitive fairness model, the GHSA for classification.
Yeah,
we keep winning all these state titles in our girls sports. We're going to 5A in a couple of years for sure.
Oh, ain't no doubt. The girl, just because the girls is, me and Wesley have talked about how Coach Rowland kind of gets thrown out there with these girls. Like, hey, look at all these other sports.
Yeah, we got great. I mean, we have great girl athletes in the county. There is no doubt. And then we have great girl coaches in the county. We're just trying to, as a girls wrestling program, we're trying to catch up to those other good teams in our own school building.
Yeah.
Trying to get as successful as they are. So
And it'll come. I mean, just nothing breeds that like just seeing your friends do it and seeing your classmates. Like,
yeah,
hey.
absolutely. I mean, everybody, your sports being successful makes your school morale way higher.
Oh, it does.
I mean, the school day is much better when you're successful outside of school. So we like to see everybody be, do well.
As you said, this is the last match. Your kids already trying to
We're packing up these chairs. We got practice tomorrow, and then we had the troop on Saturday, and we'll be back in the room here on Monday. So, even with no school, we'll be back in here in the afternoon. So, it's nonstop this time of year.
You wouldn't have it any other way, would you?
No, I don't. We got so many kids. Like we talked about, I got girls going, got JV going, got middle school going, got boys going, JV girls going. It's, it's a full program, and we try to do our best to make sure kids get mat time. It's tough. It's tough when you have a lot of kids to get a lot of mat time, but we try our best to get everybody a taste of it.
All right. Well, I know it's a full program. It's a phenomenal program. We're going to let you get out of here so you can get everything ready to go.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. I know it's a great event. We love this. It showcases all of our wrestlers. We're rocking those pajama pants this year, so we got to show those off a little bit. We saw Carrollton do it last year. Our kids were like, hey, we need to do that. And so I let the kids choose this year, so they went with the PJ pants. They do look pretty good with them yellow shirts. I'm not going to lie.
They do.
So we're going to rock those this year and be a little bit unique. But no, man, thank y'all for everything y'all do. Sometimes I always can't make it to the football games on Friday nights, and getting to watch y'all commentate and everything. It's, I got my boys and my wife's got to work or whatever. It's great being able to turn it on. And for so many years we wish we had that, and y'all just do such a good job promoting the county and
absolutely,
in all things we do. So thank y'all for everything.
Absolutely, wouldn't have it any other way. And like I say, just nobody does it like the county. So we just want to keep.
We're going to keep going too. Ain't no stopping. We're going to keep trying to grow as much as we can. So.
And we're coming to this is the first event Georgia Alabama Sports Live ever had. I've been wanting to do it for a long time.
Yep.
And I've been trying to cover as much as I could, but we're going to do some dual matches, especially with the atmosphere that y'all have in this building. So I'll let you go clean up.
Good
Appreciate
deal,
you coming on, Coach.
Again, thank you.
And I'll. And welcome back. We took a little bit of a break after talking to Coach Morris. We're wrapping up here at the STC building. It was a great event. Over 30 matches from 7th graders, the seniors, boys and girls. A great job. You see the kids quickly trying to get out here. It's been a long day for them and the coaches with school. So I'd like to thank, before we get out here, we'd like to thank the sponsors. Sorry about that. Even though we didn't have as much time to give shout-outs to the sponsors, we definitely, are appreciative of what they do. So we'll make sure we give them a shout-out. State Farm agent Rick Knight, thanks for everything he does for us and, being there for us. Same for Harris County Sheriff's Office and Mike Jolly. Thank him. And I'd like to give a shout-out to his jailers, his deputies, investigators, and administrative staff. Derek Moxley Concrete Services, Bashir's Kubota, Starling Southern Real Estate, Moss & Sons Feed and Seed, Crash Chapel Hamilton, The Whistling Pig, and CaroliteColin.org. Thank all of y'all. Thank you to Chris Gates producing this. Welcome to wrestling. Chris, your first time coming out here doing some wrestling. And for Chris Gates, he gives himself a round of applause for get out here. He's fired up to do some more wrestling. And we're going to be out here doing some more wrestling for the county. Coach Wingard, I'd like to give a shout out to him and Coach Moore and Coach Rowland. We're going to get you on the mic before this season's over. But we appreciate everybody checking us out. Next Friday, we'll be at the football game, me and Brandon Schwobel, we won't be streaming it, as we'll be covering it. We'll give you a pregame show, maybe a postgame show, try to get some interviews, do as much as we can, and just, highlight the county some more. We appreciate everybody. But like I said, for Chris Gates, I'm Rick Beach. Good night, everybody. Go Tigers.